Xiaofang and Bray each sat on Vegeta's legs. There was a factor of jealousy in this, but the bigger reason was because Vegeta did take the initiative a little bit. Prior to this, Vegeta had become more and more familiar with them, and Xiaofang and Bra would gradually develop a greater affection and intimacy towards him. They didn't pay much attention to the intimacy of this level today, and they didn't even take it seriously. As for the opinions of other people, only the old Supreme Kai had a little slander in his heart, but he was more envious of Vegeta's treatment. Hearing the dispute between Xiaofang and Bra, Vegeta patted their ass and laughed. Don't underestimate Rage Shenron. His strength is not as simple as it seems. Although Goten didn't take it. He tried his best, but he didn't either. And have you found out that the gravity of the planet Goten is on should be similar to that of the spiritual timehouse and 10 times that of the Earth? It has just passed Rage Shenron, and hasn't adapted to that gravity for a while. Vegeta's actions made Xiaofang and Beulah's faces flushed at the same time, and they sighed, but they were not too resisted. After hearing Vegeta's analysis, they took a closer look and found that Super Rage Shenron's movements were a bit awkward, and it was indeed affected by gravity. Of course, Xiaofang and Beulah have both practiced in the spiritual timehouse, and they have withstood 50 times the force of gravity while the energy is sealed, so they still look down on the performance of Super Rage Shenron. Just before they could say more, the Super Rage Shenron in the screen was already serious, and a powerful breath broke out in an instant. Xiaofang and the others can't perceive it here, but they can tell from Son Goten's reaction that they really underestimated Super Rage Shenron. Because soon, Son Goten also transformed himself, and suddenly became a Super Second. After Son Goten came out of the spiritual timehouse, his strength has improved a lot, and his normal combat effectiveness has reached 4 billion. In this way, to deal with Super Rage Shenron, Super Second transformation is needed. Obviously, I feel that Super Rage Shenron may not be able to beat Super Rage Shenron in Super 1. 250 billion. Vegeta perceives with divine mind, and makes this judgment about the fighting power of Super Rage Shenron. So the result is already obvious. The normal combat power of Son Goten is 4 billion, and the Super 2 has reached 400 billion, far surpassing the Super Rage Shenron. Even without the influence of planetary gravity, Super Rage Shenron cannot be Son Goten's opponent. In the end, Son Goten only used the Super 2 form and easily solved the Super Rage Shenron. After a giant Kamehameha, Super Rage Shenron was turned into a dregs in seconds, leaving a 5 planet that had been purified and restored in place. Son Goten exhaled with joy, but Xiaofang, who saw the battle on the Earth, was not satisfied. Uncle Goten is true too. How can I kill Super Rage Shenron in such a simple way? It doesn't make any sense. Xiaofang pouted a little unhappy. Just now, Vegeta joked and said that they were sitting here watching a movie. Xiaofang also thought it was a lot of fun, but this first battle was too boring. There was such a big difference in strength. If you let Goten hear this, how sad he will be. Laguz chuckled beside him. Bra also said, I will tell Goten when I look back and see how he reacts. Cut. I'm not afraid. Xiaofang made a face and hugged Vegeta's arm and said, dare he hit me? Well, if Vegeta is there, Son Goten might not even dare to complain. Look on. This evil dragon is only the weakest of the 7, but it is already stronger than Mr. Boo back then, and there are exciting battles behind, which will not disappoint you. Of course, Vegeta won't be with them. Messing around, turn to comfort. In fact, he had already clearly sensed the strength of these evil dragons, but there was something unexpected in it. While talking, God Jebet has found the second evil dragon Super 2-star dragon, and he also took advantage of it to launch instant transmission and brought it to Trunks. Trunks is much more stable than Son Goten. After all, he has taken over the Wanung capsule group in the early years and has become the president of the juvenile. He didn't talk too much nonsense, nor did he conduct any temptations, and he went straight into the Super Second transformation. Trunks has a normal combat power of 4.2 billion, and after the second transformation, its combat power has reached 420 billion. His opponent Super 2-star dragon is indeed much stronger than Super Rage Shenron. Unfortunately, the Super 2-star dragon with only 300 billion combat power, even if it explodes with all its strength, is still far from the opponent of Super 2 Trunks. Finally, Trunks recovered the 2 planets easily. Next, Uab played against Super Oceanus Shenron. Super Oceanus Shenron looks a little silly, as if he didn't want to fight at all. And Uab is an honest man. Super Oceanus Shenron doesn't do anything, he hesitates for a while, and can only stimulate Super Oceanus Shenron with words. I want to change you back to the 7 Dragon Ball immediately. Uab erupted with his own aura, and his combat power reached a height of 200 trillion. It was a matter of an instant to deal with evil dragons of this level. However, Chao Oceanus Shenron still looked stupid, scratching his head and said, but I don't want to change back at all, and I am not interested in you. Can you send me back to where I came from? Yuub almost fell down, and after talking for a long time, Super Oceanus Shenron was almost too salty. It seems that there is no way to negotiate. Yuub reluctantly said cruelly. There is no need to waste time for a villain like you. Now it can only be solved by fighting. Ah! Yuub screamed and rushed forward, but all his movements were completely seen through. Super Oceanus Shenron looked fat, stupid and cute, but he easily avoided all Yuub's attacks, just like walking in a leisurely courtyard. What? This? How is this possible? As soon as Yuub showed an expression of disbelief, he was punched by Super Oceanus Shenron in his stomach, spitting out a mouthful of sour water, and he was bent over and couldn't stand up. Huh. Damn, such a strong guy. I was confused by his appearance. Yuub clutched his stomach, his face full of pain. With just one punch, he broke his strength a lot. This scene stunned the people who watched the battle through the crystal ball on Earth. Is Super Oceanus Shenron so strong? You know, Yuub is much stronger than Trunks and Son Goten. The two evil dragons, Trunks, and the others were easily defeated with only Super 2 powers, but it was Yuub's turn to be completely abused? It's weird. Vegeta said. Without going to the scene, he was still limited by watching the game through the crystal ball. He did not see what abilities Super Oceanus Shenron used. However, Vegeta believes that Super Oceanus Shenron is definitely not relying on hard power to do this step. Ah! Yuub directly exploded into the full energy form, that is, the Super Yuub, and the 200 trillion powerful aura continued to spread and swept. But facing this degree of Yuub, Super Oceanus Shenron is still calm. No matter how Yuub attacked or how powerful his power was, he was like a 2-to-1 attack. He didn't use much power at all, but he could easily slap Yuub. It's disgusting. I feel that this guy's anger is not that strong. Yuub, panting for breath, gritted his teeth and said, why didn't my attack cause him any harm? Hee. I didn't expect you to be so desperate to save face. It seems that I can only teach you. Chao Oceanus Shenron grinned. Hee. Let me tell you why you attack me, but I won't be harmed. What? What's the matter? Yuub wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth, and now he was completely powerless. Hee, actually. Because you are surrounded by the powerful negative energy emanating from my body. Righteous energy within a 5-meter radius around me, the so-called positive energy, is within this range. Will fail. Super Oceanus Shenron seems to be winning. He doesn't put Yuub in his eyes at all, and he smiles and says, a guy like you who only has justice in his heart is counterbalanced by my strong and evil spirit. I don't know you understand. Yet? You. What did you say? Yuub reacted somewhat. In other words, my anger was cancelled out before it hit you. That's what it is. Do you understand? You absolutely can't beat me. Chao Oceanus Shenron grinned and said, so you'd better send me back to Earth soon. I won't let you go back. Yuub exploded again, with a firm face. Earth and Mr. Goku's friends, I will use our hands to protect it. Chao Oceanus Shenron was a little puzzled. How come I haven't figured it out after trying so many times? His negative energy is endless. As long as there is justice, there will be evil. No matter how powerful Yuub's breath is, the Super Oceanus Shenron's breath will also increase simultaneously, cancel it out, and then emerge a stronger force to defeat Yuub. A guy like Yuub with a pure heart and no impurities is perfectly restrained by Super Oceanus Shenron. It turned out to be like this. Everyone on Earth also understood what was going on at this time, and they couldn't help but frown. The ability to surpass Oceanus Shenron was too big. In fact, not only Yuub, people like Gohan Goten, Trunks, etc., are actually the same, and Son Goku, who is lying half dead in the Temple of Heaven. They might have nothing to do with such a Super Oceanus Shenron. In this case, I can only let Vegeta go and try it, the old Supreme Kai frowned and said. But he is not sure whether the current Vegeta can deal with Super Oceanus Shenron. After all, Vegeta has lived on the Earth for more than 30 years, and his personality has changed a lot, especially after the demon incident. His disposition has become more and more peaceful. It's just that Vegeta was going to deal with 2 evil dragons. If he were to help Yuub now, he would have to let Goten and Trunks stand up first. It's not necessary. Just when the old Supreme Kai was going to inform Jabet God to change his plan, Vegeta spoke out. He looked at Yuub, who was being slammed by Ultra Oceanus Shenron. His eyes were a little surprised, and he said, Ultra Oceanus Shenron's abilities are really aimed at these Earth warriors. Unfortunately, Yuub is different. He is the best of Ultra Oceanus Shenron. Opponent. Huh. Everyone present was stunned. Yuub has been badly beaten by the Super Oceanus Shenron. How come he is the best opponent of the Super Oceanus Shenron? However, before they could ask questions, the battle scene suddenly changed. Boom. A strange breath burst out of Yueb's body, which directly blasted Super Oceanus Shenron away. Ah! Yueb clenched his fist and roared to the sky. Black energy emerged from his body, and his aura continued to explode on the basis of 200 trillion. What? This is. Not only Super Oceanus Shenron was taken aback, but everyone watching the battle on Earth also showed a surprised expression. Sure enough, only Vegeta was not surprised. Who are you? Chao Oceanus Shenron had a trace of horror on his face at this time. Because he felt the threat on Yueb at this time, the breath that Yueb exploded was no longer pure positive energy. Slowly, the sudden burst of aura finally converged back, and Yueb's combat strength actually doubled several times, reaching a height of 1000 trillion directly. And his appearance is also different from before. His dark skin has turned pink, and there are a few more pores on his head. Majin Buu. On the earth, the god Dend couldn't help but exclaimed. The old Supreme Kai sucked in a cold breath. No, he should have absorbed the Super Oceanus Shenron's negative energy, which caused the power of Majin Buu, who was sleeping, to be liberated. Now Yueb and Buu's chi is integrated, which can be called Ultra Demon Yueb. Great, in this case, Super Oceanus Shenron will not be an opponent. Xiaofang and Beulah both jumped up happily. At this time everyone also understood what Vegeta said just now. It's just that the old Supreme Kai didn't have a happy expression. Instead, he said solemnly, Super Oceanus Shenron is indeed not a problem, but the problem now is that Yueb has lost his heart of justice and turned into a demon. You have to find a way to help Yueb restore his original mind, otherwise he will run away like an evil dragon. The longer the transformation takes place, the righteous heart will be completely lost, and there will be no way to return to the original state, and it will become a threat. Isn't it? Dend and others showed surprise. Wow. I'm going to kill you. Sure enough, the Ultra Demon Yueb was in a violent trend, and the energy rushed out again, and the air holes on his forehead continued to spray out smoke, just like another Majin Buu. Before transforming, he had nothing to do with Super Oceanus Shenron, but now he was enveloped in a layer of evil, and he would no longer be affected by Super Oceanus Shenron's abilities, and he directly knocked Super Oceanus Shenron into the air with a single punch. Huh. Chao Oceanus Shenron finally stabilized his figure in the air. With just one punch, he had already suffered a serious injury, and his energy had dropped a lot. It's terrible speed and strength. This is the end of the matter. I can only use my strongest trick to fight against. Chao Oceanus Shenron has not been calm at the beginning, folded his hands and burst out all his strength. Death Bomb. Ha! In the face of Super Oceanus Shenron's full burst, Super Demon Yueb just released a Ki Blast with one hand. Boom. Ki Blast collided with a giant death bomb that surpassed Oceanus Shenron and easily suppressed it. What? It's impossible, Super Oceanus Shenron yelled in surprise. However, whether he believes it or not, the final result is doomed. His strength was far inferior to Yueb's, but Yueb's positive energy was offset by a bug-like setting. But now that Yueb's energy is combined with Majin Buu, it is no longer a pure positive energy, and naturally it will not be offset anymore. There is a huge gap between the powers of the two sides. How can Ultra Oceanus Shenron escape in the hands of Ultra Demon Yueb? After Ki Blast, Super Oceanus Shenron didn't even have any scum left, and only dropped a purified 6th planet. Roar ah 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 ah. Ultra Magic Yueb lost his opponent, but did not calm down. Instead, the aura on his body became even more violent. But it seems that he still retains a trace of reason, so he hasn't done any other behaviors, just clutching his head and yelling there. The energy is constantly gushing, and it looks a little out of control. The situation is not good. The old Supreme Kai frowned and said, it seems that there is still no way to return to the original form. I have to find a way to do it. I don't know what Yueb wants to do. What should I do? Dend and others were a little worried. Xiaofang pulled Vegeta and said, Vegeta, you must have a way. Help Yueb. Vegeta took a look at Yueb and said, isn't this a very simple thing? His current form is only caused by the absorption of negative energy. Splash some super magical water over it. The negative energy is natural. It's gone. Super divine water can purify all evil, and it is just right to deal with Yueb's current state, and there is no need to face it hard. That's right. The old Supreme Kai immediately reacted when he said this, and immediately transmitted a voice to the god Jebet, asking him to return to the Temple of Heaven to get the Super Water God. At this time, Jebite completed 2 more teleportation tasks. Chao Ice Shenron was sent to Vegeta, and Chao Naturon Shenron was sent to Son Gohan. After receiving the voice of the old Supreme Kai, he immediately rushed to the Temple of Heaven, and after getting the Super God Water, he went to Yueb's side. Sure enough, just simply splashing the super magic water on Yueb, the Super Demon Man, he regained his sanity, and the evil aura immediately disappeared without a trace. At the same time, the other two battlefields have been fought. Super Ice Shenron is a woman, and the pair of headlights in front of her is very magnificent, and she looks very cute. Unfortunately, her opponent is Vegeta. The opponent is the uncle. It is really your misfortune. Whether it is a woman or a child, I will not let it go. Vegeta grinned, and went directly into the Super Second State. He now has a normal combat power of 150 billion, and his Super Second State is 15 trillion. And the Super Ice Shenron on the opposite side is about 10 megabytes. The speed and power are far from Vegeta's opponents. Vegeta, as he said, did not have the slightest feeling of pity for Jade. Not only did he hurt Chao Ice Shenron's face, he also put one hand on the opponent's face, and one hand hit Chao Ice Shenron's stomach hard, and finally kicked on the pair of headlights in front of him. This brutal picture made the audience's eyelids twitch, and the picture of the pair of headlights being kicked and exploded even appeared in Vegeta's mind. Well, this kind of thing didn't happen. Damn it, I don't get too proud of myself, my hair is shocking. Super Ice Shenron is more like a warrior than the three evil dragons before, and the combat effectiveness is indeed not weak. Her hair has the attributes of toughness and sharpness. Even if the combat power is much lower than Vegeta, she still relies on this ability to cause a lot of trouble to Vegeta. Moreover, Super Ice Shenron's hair can be used not only to attack, but also to relieve strength, and even to tie up the enemy. The ability to control a special thread. It seems that the power of the impact can match the hardness of steel. It will be troublesome to be caught. Vegeta grinned. But at this speed, you can't catch my uncle. His figure flashed, he had appeared behind Chao Ice Shenron and kicked it out. Super Ice Shenron really couldn't keep up with Vegeta's speed, and could only place some hair strands around his body to ease the power of Vegeta's attack. It's just that every time she wants to use these hair strands to attack or capture, Vegeta can always avoid it first, and after going around a certain distance, use high-speed movement to attack her. Transparent net. As a result, Vegeta, who was ready to end the battle, was bound by a transparent net. What? Vegeta struggled hard, but couldn't struggle with the net. There is not only one kind of hair that I can control. This kind of transparent thread is there from the beginning. During the battle, I will emit countless such transparent threads. You only realize the visible thread, but there is no aware of the invisible. Feng Shui took turns. This time it was Super Ice Shenron's turn to be proud. She kicked Vegeta upside down and stepped on the ladder, with a high queen posture. Come on, now is the time for punishment. If she had another leather whip and candle in her hand at this time, Ha ha ha. Vegeta suddenly laughed. Idiot, do you think you can win this way? How could this kind of thing restrain me? Ah. He suddenly exploded with a stronger breath, and Super Ice Shenron was overturned directly. With a bang, Super 2 Vegeta became Super 3 Vegeta, and the transparent net woven with hair was also violently broken. What? This is impossible. Chao Ice Shenron was shocked instantly. It's a pity, I'm no ordinary opponent. Super Saiyan Vegeta grinned and said, it's time for the game, it's time to clean up, ah. Super 3 Vegeta rushed forward, completely ignoring that Super Ice Shenron is a female, and his fists fell on her without any scruples, her chest, lower abdomen. Super Ice Shenron was directly beaten into doubts about life. Fatal blow, the ultimate flash cannon. After the explosion, Chao Ice Shenron was not dead, and still left a breath. Damn it, although I don't like to be that ugly, but now I can't help it. Chao Ice Shenron gritted his teeth and even transformed himself. As she said herself, it was really ugly after being transformed, just like a ghoul. That's it, it seems that the energy has indeed increased a bit, but this level can't beat me. Vegeta was not surprised at Super Ice Shenron's transformation, and rushed over again with a sling. To be fair, Super Ice Shenron's transformation is ugly, but it has a lot of energy boosted, directly from 10 trillion combat power to 30 trillion. Unfortunately, compared with Super Saiyan's transformation, it's too far behind. So this transformation can only be regarded as a dying struggle, and was quickly killed by Super 3 Vegeta, leaving a purified 3-star ball. On the other hand, Son Gohan got into a bitter battle in the battle with Super Naturon Shenron. No, to be precise, it was unilateral abuse. It's not how strong the Super Naturon Shenron is, but he also has his own special abilities. As long as Super Naturon Shenron obtains the blood of other people, he can get all the information of the other party, not only the battle, but also the memories in life. So, when Son Gohan was accidentally taken blood by Super Naturon Shenron, it was a tragedy. Super Naturon Shenron discovered the secret of Super Saiyan, and knew that the Super Second Son Gohan is far from the limit. Son Gohan also has a Super Saiyan 5 transformation. Fighting head-on, Super Naturon Shenron absolutely has no chance. So he turned into Xiaofang's appearance with his transformation ability. Sun Gohan couldn't do anything at all, he could only be abused unilaterally. How? I won't fight back at all, right? Super Naturon Shenron used Xiaofang's appearance to continuously attack Sun Gohan, who only had to parry. It's just that the appearance is the same as Xiaofang, but it's not inside at all, drink it. Sun Gohan was very angry at this, suddenly exploded and punched him. Boom. Chao Naturon Shenron was beaten back, but did not suffer any harm. He, it really is the same as I thought. Chao Naturon Shenron said with a smug look. The attack right now is not serious at all. You have a deep sense of guilt towards your own daughter, right? I said earlier that this uncle's ability is to be able to detect your combat mode and weaknesses from your memory, so this uncle knows everything you want to hide. It's like, Dad, listen to me, Bra soiled the clothes I just rented with coffee. Also, I saw a tie that suits Dad, so I bought it. Hey, Dad, I don't understand this question very well, can you teach me? Oh my god, Dad, you fell asleep in the living room again, you will catch a cold. Super Naturon Shenron uses Xiaofang's appearance to keep selling cute and cheap, so that Sun Gohan completely loses his fighting spirit. Damn bastard. Sun Gohan gritted his teeth with anger, but in the face of such a scene, how could he succeed? However, at this moment, a ki blast fell from the sky and blew up directly. What? Chao Naturon Shenron was taken aback for a moment. This was an attack from a third party. There was no warning before, and it was too late for him to dodge anymore. Boom. Without any suspense, Super Naturon Shenron, who relied on this kind of disgusting human ability to fight, was definitely not much stronger in his own right, and was directly blown away by this ki blast. Ding ding ding. The bright orange 7 planets fell from the place where Super Naturon Shenron died, bounced off the ground a few times, and rolled down in front of Sun Gohan. This is. Sun Gohan looked dumbfounded, and then suddenly reacted. Is it because of Master Vegeta? Did he make the shot? Huh. Thank you so much. On the earth, Vegeta was still sitting there steadily, but Shiren retracted his raised arm. Awesome, Vegeta, I love you. Xiaofang jumped up happily, holding Vegeta's arm, and giving him a kiss on his face. Just now I saw Super Naturon Shenron turning into her and beating Sun Gohan there. Xiaofang was so angry that she jumped up and down, if it weren't too far away, she really wanted to rush up to beat that girl. And she kept yelling here to tell Sun Gohan not to hesitate and beat Naturon Shenron fiercely. It's a pity not to say that Sun Gohan didn't hear it. Even if he did hear it, Sun Gohan couldn't be successful. Seeing this, Xiaofang was so anxious that she almost cried. Therefore, Vegeta could only do it himself. A ki blast shuttled through the space and directly killed Super Naturon Shenron. Regarding this, the old Supreme Kai can't say anything. After all, there are still 2 evil dragons that have not been resolved. If Sun Gohan wastes too much energy here, he will probably be cold by then. You know, God Jebet is taken away one by one from weak to strong according to the strength of the evil dragon. In other words, the last 2 evil dragons remaining are the most powerful. At this time, God Jebet has also found Super Omega Shenron. Due to the time difference, Vegeta has not completely eliminated Super Ice Shenron, so Super Omega Shenron has been sent to Sun Gohan's side. This time the opponent is really not easy. Super Omega Shenron looks a bit funny, and his personality is completely different from the previous Omega Shenron, but the pressure on Sun Gohan is too strong. It's really an opponent of comparable strength, and the Vulture subtotal is useless. Sensing the breath of Super Omega Shenron, Sun Gohan directly transformed into Super 4 state. Now his normal combat power has reached 100 billion, and his Super 4 status is 500 trillion. This breath broke out, it was also quite amazing. Huh. Chao Omega Shenron looked surprised. This is really awesome. The intensity has been greatly increased, and it's really fun, ha 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 ha. In the face of this relaxed Super Omega Shenron, Sun Gohan was under great pressure, so he didn't talk nonsense, and he broke out and attacked Super Omega Shenron with all his strength. The 2 sides quickly entered a fierce fighting state, and it seemed that they were really evenly matched. However, if you look closely, you can see that Sun Gohan was silent all the time, gritted his teeth and attacked, while Super Omega Shenron had a calm expression and said some funny things from time to time. This Super Omega Shenron is too powerful, right? All the people on the earth are people with vision, and naturally they have seen the extraordinary of Super Omega Shenron. Super 4 Sun Gohan couldn't even take him down, and as the battle continued, Sun Gohan's breath had begun to weaken, and his physical strength was also greatly reduced. Can't Dad become Super Saiyan 5? Why does he not change his body? Xiaofang was very strange. Super 4 is obviously not Super Omega Shenron's opponent. Vegeta said. Perhaps I want to keep it as the last hole card. Yes, that's it. Old Supreme Kai explained to the side. Now they become Super Saiyan 5 and can only last for 10 minutes, so I told them before the battle, let them try not to become Super Saiyan 5. Fighting. What, it's only 10 minutes? Xiaofang thought it was incredible, because Vegeta's transformation into a Super 5 has no such limit. How come Son Gohan and Vegeta have only 10 minutes left? Old Supreme Kai said. Because it becomes Super Saiyan 5, the brain will be overloaded, the body will be seriously affected, and it may be killed at any time. This is the biggest flaw of Super Saiyan 5, so it can only be used as a hole card. Is that so? Xiaofang looked at Vegeta. Vegeta shrugged and said, of course not, it's just that they are not proficient in this transformation. They have just completed the Super Saiyan 5 transformation practice. 10 minutes is not bad. Most importantly, Gohan and Vegeta's basic combat effectiveness is too low, it's barely enough to transform into a Super 4, and Super 5 is indeed overloaded. It turned out to be like this. Xiaofang suddenly understood, and despised the old Supreme Kai. I don't know how to pretend to understand, it's nonsense. Old Supreme Kai. Asterisk, don't die. Super Omega Shenron shot Super 4 Son Gohan flying with one punch. Hehehehe. This is not good, after so many large attacks, I can't help but love this power. Quite calm. Son Gohan got up from the ground, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and said, indeed, I am not very calm because of anxiety. The next round will not be like this. Chao Omega Shenron smiled and said, for me, I have no way of knowing your personal affairs. I just enjoy this battle. So, I don't want you to do too many indifferent battles, hehehe. Son Gohan's face slowly calmed down, and he opened the battle posture and said, I don't have so much time to have fun. Just that moment has made me sober. Forget that you are not an opponent that can be defeated so easily, thank you. Go ahead. Then, I'll be stronger next. Super Omega Shenron bends his feet and rushes towards Son Gohan with a swish, a lot faster than before. However, the already serious Super 4 Son Gohan could not be defeated so easily, and once again entered a fierce battle with Super Omega Shenron. The two sides fisted, and every time they collided, there would be a violent muffled noise, and the air was blown up. Boom boom boom. The energy bombs are thrown out from time to time, sometimes they are avoided, and directly blown into a large piece of land on the planet. Sometimes the energy bombs of the two sides collide, erupting even more astonishing power. Sometimes I was caught off guard, but because the other party also sent it out in a hurry, it would only weaken their energy, but did not show much injury. The fighting between the two sides became increasingly fierce, even if the planet on which they were located was many times stronger than the Earth, the whole planet was still shivering under their energetic sweep. The Earth has cracked countless gaps, and many gaps will expand into an abyss. Come on, Dad, you can beat him, Xiaofang yelled in front of the crystal ball, looking very nervous. It can only be said that she is indeed a father and daughter. She was not so caring when other people were fighting before, even Son Goten was the same. Well, in fact, Super Omega Shenron is completely different from the previous evil dragons. It looks a little bit funny, but the strength really makes everyone feel terrified. If it hadn't been for the practice of Supreme Kai World, Son Gohan would probably not be able to survive now. Hehehe, the action has become quite good, really good. Super Omega Shenron opened the mouth while the two sides were separated. However, it's not very interesting now, so please concentrate more in the battle. At the beginning, Son Gohan may not have fully entered the state and was unilaterally suppressed. Now that he is serious, the two sides have started to play together. At least on the surface, Son Gohan is not weak anymore. Don't think you can always be so calm. Son Gohan also gained some confidence at this time and began to feel confident. After all, he still has Super Saiyan 5. Although it only has 10 minutes, it is enough to decide the outcome. As long as his Super 4 status can withstand Super Omega Shenron's attack. However, Super Omega Shenron chuckled and said, I said before, I haven't gotten serious yet. This is the only way to use the 5 powers of success. 50%? It's a bit overstatement, right? Son Gohan was taken aback, not believing it at all. He has already exceeded his level, and his level should be about the same as when Son Goku and Omega Shenron played back then. Son Gohan believes that Super Omega Shenron may still have power that has not been used. After all, the evil dragon is now stronger than before, but it would be an exaggeration to say that Super Omega Shenron only exerts 50% of its power. In contrast, isn't it more than twice as powerful as the previous Omega Shenron? He. Let you see it, and you will know if it's an exaggeration. Super Omega Shenron changed his posture, and there was a huge energy rushing out of his body. What? What a powerful chi, and I can feel an evil energy. Son Gohan hadn't finished his thoughts. Super Omega Shenron stretched out 2 fingers, right snake. Huh. A serpentine-like white energy column jumped out of his fingertips and rushed to Son Gohan instantly, and Son Gohan immediately jumped away. Left snake. Another white energy snake jumped out, directly blocking the position where Son Gohan jumped away. With a snap, Son Gohan's left hand seemed to have been bitten by a snake, and the bite spot flashed white light. What is this? It doesn't hurt at all, but this strange light. Son Gohan had an unknown premonition in his heart. Super Omega Shenron just sat there laughing and didn't answer. Son Gohan was about to question, but he just moved a bit, only to find that his left hand could not move after being bitten. It's just mild paralysis, and it will be fine in a few minutes. Super Omega Shenron smiled. However, in this state, there is no way to avoid my skills anymore. It will become more and more in the future. The twin snakes will attack. Super Omega Shenron blasted 2 serpentine energy with both hands at the same time, hitting Son Gohan in 2 directions. This tortuous snake-shaped energy, the trajectory of movement is really complicated. It is difficult to judge its attack position. Originally, Son Gohan wanted to avoid 2 serpentine energies at the same time. After a few rounds, Son Gohan was hit with both hands and feet, and his entire body was unable to move. Oh, it seems that the game is obviously over. Now you just stay there obediently. Super Omega Shenron rushed directly to Son Gohan, punching and kicking, and then slammed into the ground. Spartak Cannon, attack! A giant ki blast was sent from Super Omega Shenron's hands, directly hitting Son Gohan on the ground, and a huge mushroom cloud burst instantly. Ah, did you just die like this? I'm just trying to show my skills. It ended faster than I thought. What a pity. Super Omega Shenron's body is still intact, not even dusty, his face is relaxed, and he doesn't even consume much energy. I hope the next opponent can bring me more fun, He glanced into the distance, as if sensing something, with a snicker on his face. Dad. On the earth, Xiaofang jumped up in a hurry. Don't worry, Gohan is okay. An attack of this level will not cost him his life. Vegeta was still sitting there. The previous battles were considered warm-up battles, and it was a bit boring to watch, but this Super Omega Shenron was quite interesting. Although not particularly strong, his strength is infinitely close to Son Gohan's Super 5 combat power, which is more than 4,000 trillion. Even if Son Gohan turns into Super 5, he may not be able to defeat Super Omega Shenron in 10 minutes, let alone fight Super 4 now. It's really expected that this kind of situation will happen right now. Huh. God Jebet brought Son Goten and Trunks back, and did not directly support the others. They need to rest for a while, wait to see which side needs help more, and then go to other places to help. So when he first came back, Trunks asked directly, "What's the situation with Dad and Brother Gohan?" "Vegeta and Gohan have each recovered a Dragon Ball," Old Supreme Kai replied. God Jupiter held a pocket in his hand with a few purified Dragon Balls in it, and said, "Yes, the 7 Dragon Balls will continue to be placed with me." The Old Supreme Kai said, "Now Gohan is fighting the second evil dragon, Omega Shenron, where he was before. However, his strength seems beyond imagination, and he is now in a tough battle. HMPH, my father will definitely win." Xiaofang waved her pink fist dissatisfied beside her. Saying that, Vegeta also comforted her, but in the end, the father and daughter were connected with a worried look on their faces. Trunks was taken aback, and said in shock, "How could it be so strong? Now Gohan should be able to win any opponent." Trunks and Son Goten defeated an evil dragon with only the Super 2 form, but Son Gohan can transform into a Super 5, and the evil dragon facing him is so strong. But soon they knew the current situation from the picture of the crystal ball and the explanation of the Old Supreme Kai. This opponent can't be won casually. I'm afraid Gohan has to show his true skills. The Old Supreme Kai made the final judgment. Old Supreme Kai, let's help Brother Gohan too, Trunks said. No, I can only wait and see like this now. Old Supreme Kai rebuffed. I also said that Gohan hasn't shown his true skills yet. And there is an evil dragon. Just in case, you still stand by here. Bar. But if Gohan loses. Before Trunks finished speaking, Xiaofang shouted. What are you talking about? My father won't lose. Sorry Xiaofang, I didn't mean that. Trunks panicked immediately. It's okay. Old Supreme Kai said. Now I can only trust Gohan, because he is Goku's son. Don't be chirping and arguing. Gohan hasn't lost yet. Vegeta interjected, and the others quieted down instantly. God Jebet scratched his head and said, Then guys, I will continue to look for the last evil dragon. God Jebek greeted everyone, and went away first. Everyone present was a little embarrassed at this time. They could only turn their heads to look at the picture projected by the crystal ball. At this time, Son Gohan had already jumped out of the ruins of the explosion. Although his image was a little embarrassed and he suffered some injuries, it did not seem to be a major problem. It's amazing. It's so good to be able to stand up. Super Omega Shenron saw Son Gohan and was immediately happy. He looked excited and said, "Obviously, I underestimate you a little bit. It seems that I can have fun for a while, he he he." Son Gohan raised his mouth slightly and said, "Because you hide your strength, I can't get serious." Ooh, turned out to be like this, then you do not worry. Despite the strength resorted to, I will come up with the full, he he he. Super Omega Shenron funny face kind of force. If it weren't for his aura is really amazing, from the outside, he doesn't look like a strong man at all. You won't be able to laugh anymore. Ah. Son Gohan squeezed his fists, and the breath in his body burst out suddenly. With his roar, the energy continued to rise, and the breath spread, and even the heavenly temple of the earth could lightly sense this elevated breath. Boom. After the powerful energy exploded, the red-haired Super 4 Son Gohan suddenly turned silvery white. Super 5 Son Gohan, debut again. And his combat effectiveness instantly exploded tenfold, from 500 trillion to 5,000 trillion. It's great, it's beyond imagination. Chao Omega Shenron was full of excitement, rubbing his arms and said, "I feel numb all over. If I don't get serious, it would be bad. It will be over soon. Let's be awakened." Super 5 Son Gohan's face was dark, staring coldly at Super Omega Shenron. Brother Gohan is finally serious. It's amazing, brother. Trunks and Son Goten clenched their fists with excitement. Xiaofang jumped up with joy, and shouted at the projected picture, "Dad, kill him. This breath is so strong. Gohan can beat Omega Shenron, Vegeta." Bra embraced Vegeta's arm, his small face was full of excitement. After all, it is the highest level of Saiyan's transformation known so far. As long as you see it, you can't help but feel excited. Perhaps. Vegeta smiled. In the Super 5 state, Son Gohan's power really surpasses Super Omega Shenron, but the biggest problem is that it can't last, and the power control of Super 5 transformation is too weak. Although it is said that the strength of combat power has 5,000 trillion, but how much can be played, Vegeta does not know. However, Super Omega Shenron has more than 4,000 megabytes of combat power. Even if Son Gohan can fully control the Super 5 transformation, it is difficult to beat Super Omega Shenron in a short time, let alone the current level. Therefore, Vegeta is not optimistic about Son Gohan in this battle between the two sides. Of course, the battle situation is changing rapidly, and the Earth Warriors have the protagonist aura. Son Gohan may not be able to defeat Super Omega Shenron. It can only be said that the odds of winning are relatively low. Oh, you have to exert all your strength so that I can feel the fun. Super Omega Shenron is still calm. It seems that he is not scared by the breath of Super 5 Son Gohan at all. Son Gohan knew that his transformation could not last, so naturally he wouldn't talk nonsense with Super Omega Shenron. He rushed past Super Omega Shenron and appeared immediately behind Super Omega Shenron. So fast. Super Omega Shenron was suddenly startled. Without much mental preparation, he was directly punched in the face by Super 5 Son Gohan, his head buzzing, his eyes kept turning, as if he couldn't find his direction. In this situation, Super Omega Shenron's body flew out instantly. However, Son Gohan didn't stop there, and soon caught up with him, directly attacking Super Omega Shenron. Bang bang bang. After a series of fierce attacks, Super Omega Shenron was kicked into the sky. Kamehameha wave. A huge ki blast pushed out from Son Gohan's hands, hit Super Omega Shenron head on, and exploded. That's amazing. Gohan, brother, is simply overwhelming. Simply knocked him down. So handsome, Dad. Trunks, Son Goten, and Xiaofang all jumped with excitement. It's too early to be happy. Vegeta shook his head and struck. The strength is not well controlled, and the best opportunity is lost. Sure enough, the energy dissipated, revealing the body shape beyond Omega Shenron. It's not intact, but it hasn't been traumatized too much, it's just that there is a lot of burnt black on the body. However, from the face of Super Omega Shenron, there was no way of being beaten up at all, but he was dancing with excitement. Yeah, it's great, it's really great. I have been waiting for this power. Chao Omega Shenron seemed to be off the line and danced high in the sky. Son Gohan. It seems a bit troublesome, so I should use my strength too. Super Omega Shenron finished teasing, suddenly shouted, and a breath that was not much weaker than Super 5 Son Gohan burst out. What? Super 5 Son Gohan gritted his teeth suddenly. Come on. Start the final battle. Super Omega Shenron grinned and suddenly rushed towards Son Gohan. Super 5 Son Gohan gritted his teeth, suppressed the shock in his heart, and launched an attack with all his strength. He really did not expect that Super Omega Shenron's strength could reach such a level, and even Super Saiyan was not sure of winning 5. But when the battle was here, he had no other way but to fight desperately. Due to the time limit for this transformation and the heavy load on his body, Son Gohan didn't dare to drag him for too long. At this time, he almost used his strength to feed him. So even if Super Omega Shenron bursts into full energy form, he is still suppressed by Super 5 Son Gohan, and occasionally catches the opportunity to attack. No matter how you look at it, Super 5 Son Gohan has the absolute upper hand. But only Son Gohan himself knew that his state could not last long. Super Omega Shenron seems to have been under a lot of attacks, but in fact it hasn't hurt his muscles and bones. Damn it. Damn it. Super 5 Son Gohan felt that his body seemed to be reaching its limit, and his heart couldn't help but become anxious, and his movements became more rough. However, after all, he still failed to make it to the end. As the old Supreme Kai said, this transformation state not only puts a great load on his body, but also his brain. So when his body hadn't collapsed, his brain couldn't hold on anymore. With a splitting headache, he clutched his head and screamed during the battle, and soon returned to normal. It seems. This time is really over, really disappointed. Chao Omega Shenron's complexion calmed down. I think there is a time limit for the transformation just now, right? Although there is a little regret, but now you and I can't feel the charm at all, it's time to kill you. Damn. I never thought it would be such a result. Son Gohan gritted his teeth. It lasted for less than 5 minutes. It should have been too much damage before. I was too cautious at the time. On the other side of the earth, seeing this situation, everyone couldn't help but become anxious. Old Supreme Kai, let's go take Brother Gohan away now, Trunks immediately suggested. The old Supreme Kai groaned. To be honest, even if you go, you won't be able to win Super Omega Shenron. If you go, you will only die in vain. If there is no other way, you can only ask God Jebbet to take Vegeta over. It's just that he hasn't finished speaking. God Jebbet has found the last evil dragon, Super Nuova Shenron, and he has also brought Super Nuova Shenron to Vegeta, which has blocked their last hope. No, Dad can't die. Xiaofang was so anxious that tears fell, and immediately turned around to beg Vegeta. Baguette, you save my dad, I don't want my dad to die. Don't worry. Baguette patted Xiaofang's head and comforted. Don't worry, I won't let Gohan die. If I need to take action, I will definitely take action. With the assurance of Vegeta, Xiaofang burst into laughter and hugged Vegeta and kissed him hard. Thank you, Vegeta, you are so kind to me. Baguette smiled and patted her on the head, then looked at the picture projected by the crystal ball, and frowned without a trace. Son Gohan, is this really the end? In Vegeta's induction, Vegeta's current opponent is Super Nuova Shenron, but even more terrifying than Super Omega Shenron. Now that Super Omega Shenron can't deal with it, how will he fight later? However, Super Nuova Shenron seems to be hidden deeper, and no one else notices it. So when he heard that Vegeta was willing to make a move, everyone else was relieved, including the old Supreme Kai who had a bad mouth. On Vegeta's side, he noticed the arrival of Super Nuova Shenron, and he, who had gradually become impatient, finally grinned. It seems that this is the last one. I hope this time the opponent has a bit of backbone. Super Nuova Shenron looks a bit like a little old man, is relatively small, and looks very Buddhist. He squinted his hands behind his back and said, "You kid called me here?" Vegeta was delighted when he saw the appearance of Super Nuova Shenron. Could it be that this old man is my opponent? I'm sorry, please forgive me. For him, whether his opponent is a woman, a child or an old man, he will not be merciful. What a high-spirited young man. Chao Nuova Shenron chuckled and said, but, I don't dislike the high-spirited young man. When were you born? Negative energy? Vegeta asked. Super Nuova Shenron replied. I was created when you dealt with Super Omega Shenron and resurrected Son Goku to cast Spirit Bomb. It turned out to be like this, then you and Kakarot are not like your brothers. Finally, you have a little motivation, so let's start. Vegeta roared and instantly entered the Super 4 state. He entered the Super 4 state under Vegeta's training a long time ago. After these years of training, the Super 4 state has been very stable, and his strength is naturally much stronger than Son Gohan. In the Super 4 form, Vegeta's combat strength is 750 trillion, which is only 250 trillion more than Super 4 Gohan, but the strength it can exert is much greater. Oh, I'm such an acute person. I want to practice a little bit. Super Nuova Shenron seemed a little surprised when he saw Vegeta's changes, but he didn't panic when he said it. But Vegeta didn't care about this, and attacked first. The two quickly fought together, and Supernuova Shenron was beaten back step by step. But in fact, Supernuova Shenron did not fight back, just avoided Vegeta's attacks one by one. On the other hand, Son Gohan had no spare power to fight back under the attack of Super Omega Shenron, and it seemed that he had reached the limit. Baguette. Xiaofang looked at Vegeta with tears in her eyes, begging all over her face. She really couldn't stand it anymore, and her father was squeezed by others constantly in front of her. Vegeta sighed secretly. He thought that Son Gohan would fight back, but he still didn't. However, just when he was about to take a shot, something happened. I already know the way to defeat you. Son Gohan, who was about to reach his limit, suddenly laughed, and then under everyone's astonished gaze, his body suddenly exploded. You said, the way to defeat me? Chao Omega Shenron was surprised, and then smiled. If there is such a way, I would look forward to it. Looking at him, he obviously didn't believe Son Gohan's words. Son Gohan's body is actually very tired, but at this time, it seems that the spirit is very refreshed. He clenched his fists, his breath continued to explode, and said, the answer is actually very simple. That is, bet on his own life. Wow. Boom. Son Gohan's energy exploded, and he entered Super Saiyan 5 again. Dragon Fist burst out. Son Gohan could turn into shape even in this situation. Super Omega Shenron really didn't expect that when he was still in consternation, Son Gohan's whole body strength was concentrated on this punch and penetrated through his body. Super Omega Shenron didn't even react, and there was a big hole in his stomach. What? Chao Omega Shenron's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief. But the time is fleeting, and Son Gohan has seized it, and there is no possibility of reversal. Not to mention that Super Omega Shenron didn't react. Even if he did, he couldn't resist this punch. The eruption of Dragon Fist is the ultimate blow to gamble all the power of the whole body. If you fail to succeed, you will become a benevolent, unless Super Omega Shenron is alert in advance and avoids it with the fastest speed. Otherwise, with his weaker strength than Super 5 Son Gohan, it is absolutely impossible to compete with him. Super Omega Shenron fell, his body turned into a light spot and dissipated, leaving only a purified planet in place. Son Gohan also fell. After the Dragon Fist broke out, he directly withdrew from the Super 5 transformation state, returned to normal, and then slowly fell to the ground. His power has been exhausted, and even his vitality is somewhat overdrawn, and he is already breathless at this time. Father. I did it, and then. I will leave it to you. The corners of Son Gohan's mouth rose slightly as he died. In fact, Son Gohan actually gave up when he exited Super 5 status for the first time. He knew that without Super Saiyan 5, he could not be the opponent of Super Omega Shenron. Throughout all the battles in his life, there has never been a time when he gambled his life and exploded with all his potential. However, when he gave up inside, he heard Son Goku's voice. Son Goku asked him to make every effort to defeat Super Omega Shenron, but Son Gohan felt that he was powerless, and Son Goku yelled at him. You kid. Do you want to see more victims appear? You have been watching my way of fighting. You can rest assured that everything after you defeat this guy will be handled by me. It was also because of the curse that made Son Gohan wake up. Son Goku's way of fighting is to never give up. Even when he is on the verge of death, he will still struggle. In many cases, because of this last struggle, the hope of victory reappeared. Son Gohan doesn't know which step he can do, but since Son Goku has promised that he will take care of the rest of the matter, he doesn't need to worry about what's going on. As a result, Son Gohan exploded with all his potential and bet his life. After this punch, his vitality was also greatly overdrawn, and he was already on the verge of death. God Jebet brought Son Goten and Trunks over, but he was still a step late. After checking it, God Jebite shook his head sadly and said, "We are late." No. Isn't it? Brother Gohan. Trunks burst into tears instantly. Wow. Son Goten roared up to the sky, choked himself up and said, "Damn it, if my strength is stronger." At the Temple of Heaven, Xiaofang's eyes went dark, and he almost fainted directly. Vegeta immediately hugged her and sent a burst of energy to stabilize Xiaofang's emotions. Don't worry, I'm here. Gohan can't die, I promised you. Vegeta stretched out his hand and drew a crack in the air, just connecting the space where Son Gohan was. Huh. As soon as Vegeta waved his hand, Son Gohan's body floated over from there. Brother Gohan. What is this? Son Gohan's body was sucked away by a crack in the air, and Trunks and others were frightened and angry. But soon, they saw Vegeta and Xiaofang on the opposite side through the crack, and they were relieved at once. Master Vegeta has taken action. Maybe Gohan is still saved. Let's go back. God Gpit used instant transmission to bring Trunks and Son Goten back to the Temple of Heaven. At this time, Son Gohan had opened his eyes and sat up, with a dazed expression on his face. At this time, he not only came back to life, but also returned to his heyday, and even because of the death and resurrection, his strength exploded. Am I dead? Son Gohan hadn't fully reacted yet. Dad. Xiaofang cried and threw himself into Son Gohan's arms, crying and laughing. Great, you are alive again, thanks to Vegeta, he saved you. Master Vegeta. Son Gohan suddenly realized. I wanted to salute Vegeta, but was hugged tightly by Xiaofang, unable to stand up, and could only look at Vegeta and said, thank you, Mr. Vegeta, thanks to you. Small things. Vegeta waved his hand indifferently. The same ability that Vegeta used to rescue Xiaofang last time is still going backwards in time, only acting on Son Gohan alone, without affecting the others. After that, he also fed Son Gohan a fairy bean, so that's it. In fact, even if Son Gohan is dead, after purifying the Dragon Ball back, he can still be resurrected. By doing this, Vegeta also gained personal affection for nothing. Not only did Son Gohan be grateful to him, but Xiaofang would be more dedicated to him in the future. Vegeta suddenly raised his brows and turned to look at a corner of the Celestial Temple. Son Goku, who was vomited from the mouth by the evil dragon, was placed there, and at this time he opened his eyes and sat up. Purified 6 Dragon Balls and restored his condition? Vegeta showed a thoughtful expression. If he wants to, he can actually restore Son Goku from the beginning. After all, Son Goku is not dead. For the past 3 years, Son Goku has been using the righteous energy in his body to suppress the negative energy of the 7 Dragon Ball. The reason why he was not awake after being spit out by the evil dragon was too much consumption. On the other hand, 3 years of suppression has connected his own breath with the evil dragon. If one side is strong, one side will be weak. Before the 7 evil dragons all ran out, the negative energy was released instantly, suppressing the breath of Son Goku itself to a very low level. So even if Son Goku was not injured or sick at the time, his condition could not be recovered. Now that the negative energy is almost cleaned up, only one supernova Shenron is left. Son Goku's own breath has also been released, and he is awake as a result. Master Vegeta. Son Goku had a serious face and greeted Vegeta without saying much. He turned to the old Supreme Kai. Grandpa, time is running out. I have something to ask you. Seeing Son Goku's reaction like this, those Son Gohan and others who were happy because of his soberness could not help but quiet down, staring at Son Goku without blinking. Please? The old Supreme Kai was taken aback for a moment. Son Goku at this time is completely different from before. His breath is calm, his aura is calm, and his expression is quite serious. Now I can't defeat the evil dragon, so I need to practice hard now. After speaking, Son Goku looked at the spiritual time house in the temple. His meaning is obvious, that is, let the old Supreme Kai use the Awakening God's electric wave to help him cultivate into Super Saiyan 5, the location is in the spiritual time house. But his reaction made everyone even more confused. The evil dragon now has only one supernova Shenron left. From the picture from the crystal ball, it can be seen that although supernova Shenron is not weak, it is suppressed by Super 4 Vegeta, and it has been under the wind. It seems that it is not the opponent of Super 4 Vegeta. After 3 years of accumulation, Son Goku is dead and resurrected. The normal combat effectiveness has long been far away from Vegeta. In the Super 4 state, it is not even much weaker than the Super 5 Son Gohan. In this case, is it necessary for Son Goku to continue to improve its strength? Dad. Do you mean that even Uncle Vegeta is not an opponent of Supernova Shenron? Son Gohan was startled. He who is also able to transform into Super Saiyan 5 knows Vegeta's strength best. If Vegeta faced Super Omega Shenron at first, he would definitely not be as passive as him. After Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan, he can easily slam Super Omega Shenron. Because Son Gohan's normal combat power is only 100 billion, while Vegeta's is 150 billion. After transforming into a Super 5, it reaches a terrifying 7,500 trillion, which has nearly doubled the Super Omega Shenron. But even with this strength, in the eyes of Son Goku, he is still not an opponent of Supernova Shenron? I don't know. Son Goku said solemnly, but the power of the evil dragon is definitely far more than this. During the past few years, how much negative energy the 7 Dragon Ball has absorbed, even I don't know. At the beginning, the Spirit Bomb was used to defeat the Super Omega Shenron, with the help of the power of the 7 Dragon Ball, so in the end, while defeating the Super Omega Shenron, a large amount of negative energy was born. Because of this, Son Goku left with Shenron, using his body to suppress those negative energy bursts. I thought it would be over, But no one expected that even if it was suppressed by Son Goku, those negative energy sources would continue to grow. Only 3 years have passed, and now those evil dragons that generate negative energy are much more terrifying than those of the past. They couldn't beat the Super Omega Shenron back then. Now they are facing a stronger evil dragon. If they want to defeat it with their own power, Son Goku must complete Super Saiyan 5's transformation. If you don't want to regret it, I think you'd better listen to Son Goku, Vegeta interjected. Now the strongest fighter in this time and space is Super 5 Vegeta, but the combat power is only 7,500 trillion, and it can only last for about 10 minutes. When the evil dragon first appeared, Vegeta felt that the opponent possessed gods of destruction level power. Obviously, Super 5 Vegeta is indeed not an opponent of the evil dragon. I understand. Old Supreme Kai nodded, and walked to the spiritual time house with Son Goku. It takes time for the awakening god's radio wave to work. Now, we can only rely on the time setting of the mental time house to ensure that Son Goku can complete the Super 5 transformation in the shortest time. When the old Supreme Kai and Son Goku left, everyone turned their eyes to the image projected by the crystal ball. At this time the situation really changed. Eat me, the ultimate flash. Super 4 Vegeta condensed all the power to produce an ultimate flash. As a result, Super Nuova Shenron, who was blown up on the front, was intact, with no dust on his body. Hey, you are more tenacious than you thought. You are a sturdy opponent. Vegeta had a Super 5 transformation as a whole card, and his confidence was a little inflated, but he didn't find the Supernova Shenron state. Maybe even if he found out, he didn't think that Super Nuova Shenron could take down the attack of Super Saiyan 5. Ooh, you are such an optimistic guy. Chao Nuova Shenron smiled slightly. You seem to know nothing, you guy is too obsessed with superficial power. Superficial power, what is that? Super 4 Vegeta was preached, his face full of discomfort. It's actually very simple, I'm much stronger than you, and it's overwhelming. Chao Nuova Shenron finished speaking, and the calm atmosphere suddenly became violent. Just relying on breath alone, his energy didn't seem to increase much. However, Vegeta on the earth raised his brow slightly, the power of rules. That's right, it's not the power of God, but the power of simple rules. Vegeta has never seen the power of this rule, but judging from his induction, the power of this rule is very similar to freedom. It can enhance the combat power of the physical body. The speed, strength, and response are all multiplied. Only energy is not. Increase. In other words, the Super Nuova Shenron in this state is still not the limit. But even with this state alone, Super Nuova Shenron's strength has already surpassed Super 4 Vegeta. Originally Super 4 Vegeta unilaterally suppressed Super Nuova Shenron, but now the situation has undergone a 180-degree reversal, and it has become Super Nuova Shenron violent Super 4 Vegeta, and Vegeta has no room to fight back. After a few rounds, Super 4 Vegeta was beaten and lost his resistance. New Dragon Bomb. Super Nuova Shenron shot an energy bomb with both hands. As soon as this energy bullet appeared, it turned into a dragon shape, opened his big mouth and bit the Super 4 Vegeta. Ooh, sure enough, he can only play tricks. Super Nuova Shenron still looks like an old god, and the battle just now didn't seem to cost him much. It's just that after speaking, he suddenly showed a hint of surprise. After the new Dragon Bomb exploded, Vegeta was not defeated by him, but a more powerful aura broke out. Ah 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 ah. Vegeta clenched his fists and roared up to the sky, his red body hair quickly turned silvery white. Super Saiyan 5. However, he made the same mistake as Son Gohan. At this time, his clothes were damaged in many places, and there were also many wounds on his body. He had already suffered obvious trauma before he transformed. Under this circumstance, he, who is not proficient in Super 5 transformation, can't even last 10 minutes. Let's be too smug, I'll kill you right away. Super 5 Vegeta clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. He didn't know that Son Gohan was injured before his transformation, which reduced his transformation time. Seeing Vegeta transforming into Super Saiyan 5, Super Nuova Shenron was not surprised. Instead, he grinned and said, "So, I was underestimated. Could it be that you treated this as a sloppy battle before? Really interesting. It seems a little fun." Super Nuova Shenron's reaction made Vegeta gritted his teeth with anger and transformed himself into Super Saiyan 5. The burst of breath exploded tenfold. Shouldn't Super Nuova Shenron be shocked? Drink. Super 5 Vegeta suddenly yelled, and quickly turned towards Super Nuova Shenron, slamming his fist in the face of Super Nuova Shenron. The angry mood allows Vegeta to maximize the power of Super 5. When Super Nuova Shenron was still careless, facing such a Vegeta, he was immediately caught off guard and received a series of violent blows. Eat me. The ultimate flash cannon. Vegeta grasped his right wrist with his left palm, and stretched his right palm forward, with a blazing white light from the palm. The energy exploded, Supernova Shenron was beaten up again, and a huge mushroom cloud rose on the spot. The Super 5 Vegeta's violent power was extremely terrifying, and immediately blasted this planet whose mass far exceeded that of the Earth into a huge pit. However, even so, Supernova Shenron still didn't have much damage, but looked a little embarrassed. After all, he was caught off guard and failed to defend in time. It's amazing. It seems that my strength has been amazingly improved. It seems that I am more or less serious. Supernova Shenron snickered, and a leap jumped out of the pit and landed on Vegeta. Forward. Seeing the appearance of Supernova Shenron, Super 5 Vegeta couldn't help gritting his teeth even more, and the blue veins on his forehead were beating. But soon, he felt the harm of the previous injury to the Super 5 transformation. Hey. The damage just now was more serious than I expected, so I have to make a quick decision. Super 5 Vegeta set aside and was about to continue the attack, only to find Supernova Shenron clenched his fists and made a loud noise in his mouth. Drink. Shenron Hood. Supernova Shenron's body has a transparent light film, which locks its own breath firmly inside. Vegeta can't sense whether Supernova Shenron's breath has risen or fallen. Seeing this, Vegeta couldn't help but sneered. It's a good name, but what's the change? So, why don't you try it yourself? Chao Nuova Shenron's mouth raised. The two rushed to each other at the same time, face to face hard. Boom. 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 Every time they collide, it is like thunder and explosion, the air explodes, and the whole planet trembles under their feet. Originally it seemed that Supernova Shenron had a slight advantage, but Vegeta almost desperately attacked, and that desperate posture was completely different from Son Gohan. Under this momentum, even if it surpassed Nuova Shenron's slightly stronger strength, it was still suppressed by Vegeta. Let's decide the winner in one go. Vegeta burst into action, condensing all his energy into the palm of his hand, and slammed it out at Supernova Shenron, Super Gallic. Supernova Shenron, of course, will not wait to die, but also played his own trick, New Dragon Ball. The two of them output frantically, almost all of them exploded with all their strength. It's just that Supernova Shenron is weakened and obviously not in peak state. But it's a pity that even so, the energy bomb attacks from both sides are still powerful, exploding into a huge abyss on the surface of the planet, and dissipating into nothing at the same time. Vegeta panted heavily. Before he could react, he clutched his head and yelled in pain, then quit the Super 5 state and returned to normal. But, damn it! Vegeta cursed secretly, watching Supernova Shenron, who was almost unscathed, rushing from the other side, couldn't help but smile wryly. It's really a monster. Oh, it seems that the game is over. Chao Nuova Shenron raised his right palm. I did a good job. I was worried about myself once, but it's a pity that I will get you out of it right away. Don't think of me too simple. Vegeta smiled weakly, but in this case, he still burst into a Super 1 state. Just before he could attack, Supernova Shenron had already rushed over. In Super 5 state, Vegeta is not an opponent of Supernova Shenron, let alone in an extremely weak state now. Being able to transform into Super 1 is already an amazing willpower. I changed to Son Gohan. I was afraid that I had already given up. The clam formation was obvious. Supernova Shenron slapped Super 1 Vegeta violently, and the latter returned to normal. He vomited several mouthfuls of blood, and the whole person was so angry that he could no longer resist. Ooh, I will solve you right away. Supernova Shenron is holding Vegeta in one hand, and the energy bomb is condensing in the other hand, and at the same time snickers. Hold on, soon. Damn. Vegeta couldn't even lift his arms at this time. Naturally, he couldn't avoid this attack. He could only watch death approaching step by step. It's ridiculous, I would lose in such an ugly way. Kakarot, the earth you guard, obviously cannot be guarded by me. I'm so sorry, Gohan, Trunks, and Kakarot. Vegeta had tears in his eyes, and he was really unwilling to die like this. Boom. At this moment, a red figure suddenly jumped past. Supernova Shenron was punched and flew out. Vegeta was also saved at a critical moment. After seeing the figure clearly, Vegeta exhaled suddenly, and his whole body relaxed. Huh, I finally waited for you. Kakarot. He didn't expect that Son Goku would appear at the last minute. But on second thoughts, Vegeta is still in this time and space. Maybe he sent Son Goku here, right? Otherwise, Vegeta would have acted in person. It was also at this time that he realized that the thought of saying goodbye just now was a bit redundant. Sorry, Vegeta, you have been waiting for so long. Son Goku grinned as he was in a Super 4 state. You are Son Goku? Chao Nuova Shenron was a little confused. It's not that he didn't know Son Goku, but that Son Goku's breath was on the Earth Temple, but it didn't appear until now. Obviously, Supernova Shenron was a little misunderstood. I see, you are not in a hurry to come here, do you want me to take care of you? Son Goku did not respond to these words, but said with a serious face, before the battle, I have something to say to you. So far, we have been relying on the 7 Dragon Ball. I still remember that in our adventures, the 7 Dragon Ball saved us again and again. I really appreciate you. That's why, this time we will take responsibility and protect our planet alone. Son Goku knew that as long as they spoke, Vegeta would definitely help. But no one said this from the beginning to the end. Instead, he agreed with the old Supreme Kai's statement that Vegeta was not a person in this time and space and could not interfere too much. However, this is just a statement that they want to take this responsibility themselves. It's time to end it all. Son Goku's eyes suddenly narrowed. The real battle began. Supernova Shenron seemed to also know how powerful Son Goku was, and he broke out with all his strength from the beginning. Supernova Shenron is obviously stronger than Super Omega Shenron, which has absorbed 7 Dragon Balls during the GT period, but Son Goku maintains a Super 4 form, but releases amazing power. He did not lose the wind in the battle with Supernova Shenron. Such a performance made Vegeta, who was watching the game, stunned. Super 4 Son Goku's strength is almost comparable to his Super 5 status. Grandpa is so powerful, beat him and knocked that nasty evil dragon away. In the Temple of Earth Heaven, Xiaofang, who saw the battle scene through the projection of the crystal ball, danced with excitement. Others were equally happy, repeatedly sighing the power of Son Goku. That's great, this is the strength of Mr. Goku. Yuab also looked admiringly. Son Gohan clenched his fist and said, great. I didn't expect that my father's strength has risen in the past few years. Only Super Saiyan 4 is no longer weaker than Supernova Shenron. Senior Supreme Kai, Dad should have finished Super Saiyan 5th has practiced, right? If he transforms into Super Saiyan 5th, Supernova Shenron will no longer be an opponent. The old Supreme Kai looked more relaxed, and smiled and nodded. Of course, he is Son Goku. Of course he can complete the training that even you and Vegeta can complete, and the effect is better than I thought. Unlike you who can only last for 10 minutes, Goku's Super Saiyan 5 can last for at least half an hour. Hearing this, everyone showed a look of worship. Xiaofang said, sure enough, Vegeta didn't make a mistake. The reason why Dad and Grandpa Vegeta became Super Saiyan 5 can only last for 10 minutes because they are not proficient, and their normal combat effectiveness is relatively weak. Xiaofang, Dad will be embarrassed if you say that. Son Gohan looked embarrassed. Besides, his strength is already very strong, okay. Although it was far behind Vegeta, he was still uncomfortable when he heard weak adjectives from Xiaofang's mouth. Haha. When everyone heard Son Gohan's words, they all laughed. Seeing that Super 4 Son Goku can play well with Supernova Shenron, and Son Goku has also completed the Super Saiyan 5 training, everyone feels relaxed and seems to feel that the overall situation is settled. In fact, this is also the influence of Son Goku's personality charm. If you switch to Son Gohan or Vegeta, even if you know that their strength is much stronger than the enemy, they still cannot give people the belief that they will win until the result is out. Only Son Goku can give people this sense of security. The control of energy has improved a lot. Vegeta was a little surprised as he watched Son Goku's performance. Unlike others who only saw the results of the battle, what Vegeta saw was a deeper level. The combat strength of Super 4 Son Goku is actually only 5,000 megabytes, which is 2,500 megabytes less than Super 5 Vegeta. However, with a power of 5,000 trillion, Super 4 Son Goku can match Supernova Shenron. This is because in the past 3 years, Son Goku's control of energy has risen to a very high level. It has even exceeded the threshold of energy into the micro, and it is not far from half a step without phase. Perhaps a little bit of instruction will enable Son Goku in this time and space to comprehend the freedom of phaselessness. When the time comes, the scene will be very beautiful when you have a fight with Goku, the super time-free heart. At this time, the battle in the screen suddenly stopped. Super 4 Son Goku made a move to Kamehameha, which seemed quite powerful, but he missed it. In Son Goku's own words, he hadn't fought for a long time, and his body was a bit unsuitable for his current strength. You don't seem to take it seriously. Do you want to try my level? Super 4 Son Goku said. Don't look at the fierce battle between the two sides just now, but Supernova Shenron has not actually gotten serious. In other words, he still retains a large part of his power. Of course, Son Goku is the same, so even if he knows this, he looks quite relaxed. Supernova Shenron also seemed to be interested, and said, well, it seems I'm going to be serious. Hee hee. I am already eager to try. I am very excited to be able to fight against such a powerful opponent. Son Goku said. Come on, the warm-up is over and the real battle begins. After speaking, he stamped his feet and rushed towards Supernova Shenron. So fast. Supernova Shenron hasn't reacted yet. Super Force Son Goku is already in front of him, punching him in the head. Bang 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 bang. A series of fierce attacks came. Supernova Shenron was completely unable to keep up with the speed of Super Force Son Goku, and was directly hit by a set of combos. Boom. In the end, Super Fourth Son Goku pressed Supernova Shenron and dropped with a heavy punch, directly punching Supernova Shenron to the ground. The whole ground instantly sank in a big circle, and countless rubble flew around. Goo. Seeing this cruel scene, many people involuntarily swallowed their saliva and were stunned. However, Supernova Shenron quickly stood up again. His face looked completely improper, just a few more bruises on his face. Supernova Shenron wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and smiled and said, there is nothing to fault, it's a perfect combo. Haha. Son Goku chuckled and said, I'm not playing anymore, let me see your full strength. Son Goku's confident smile made Vegeta not far away suddenly realize something. Hey, Kakarot, have you done it? Vegeta's face was surprised. Sure enough. Did you notice Vegeta? Son Goku's mouth showed a hint of joy, and said, I found a mysterious transformation through analyzing other Saiyans' battles. Every time we break through the boundaries, we have a common transformation. Features. The feeling of anger is the key to Super Saiyan 1, and this feeling of anger can even reach Super Saiyan 2. The feeling of happiness can reach Super Saiyan 3, and the feeling of sadness can reach Super Saiyan 4. In other words, Super Saiyan, the reason for being able to transcend boundaries is the power of one's own feelings. Hearing Son Goku's explanation, Vegeta's original idea of only some vague concepts was instantly opened up. He gritted his teeth and said, so you extend the transformation time by controlling the release of feelings and emotions. Yes. Son Goku nodded and said, happiness, anger, sadness, and joy are the keys to Super Saiyan's transformation. By controlling these emotions and gradually releasing my power, I can better control the power after transformation, and extend the time to transform. Vegeta got a definite answer, and finally understood why it was the same transformation, but Son Goku could do better than him and Son Gohan. Every time he thought that he had come to the fore and realized the Super 5 transformation earlier than the latter. As a result, Son Goku always surpassed him easily. Vegeta must be unbalanced in his heart, but in the end it turned into a blessing. Come on, Kakarot. Let our wish come true. Asterisk, it's pretty good, then I will let you see my true strength. Chao Nuova Shenron also heard Son Goku's words, but he is not Saiyan after all, so naturally he can't understand it, but he also learned that Son Goku's realm at this time is extraordinary. Chao Nuova Shenron finished speaking, and with a loud shout, an incomparably powerful breath poured out of his body. The breath exploded, and a powerful wave of aura was rolled up, and it was even difficult for the Super Force Son Goku to open his eyes. It's so unusual. A drop of cold sweat slipped on the forehead of Super Force Son Goku. But because of this, Saiyan's blood in his body boiled, and an expression of excitement appeared on his face. Soon, Supernova Shenron's energy was upgraded, and the whole person's breath was more than twice as powerful as before. This is his full power and full energy form. Okay, can we start? Supernova Shenron grinned. It's much better than I thought, I'm trembling with excitement, Super Force Son Goku grinned. Saying that, but as soon as the two sides collided, Son Goku was immediately beaten up. The Supernova Shenron in the full energy form is very different from the previous one. Son Goku wants to fight with the Super 4 form, which is simply unrealistic. In this form, Super 4th Son Goku couldn't hold Supernova Shenron with a punch, and was easily knocked down. Therefore, Son Goku can only be transformed, and Super 5 Son Goku makes its debut. Compared with Son Gohan's Super 5 status, except for the different hairstyles, the two are almost exactly the same, and their faces are all carved out of the same mold. It's just that the breath of Super 5 Son Goku was terrifying, Vegeta was stunned, and even Supernova Shenron was surprised. Today's Son Goku, the normal combat power has reached a height of 1 trillion, in the Super 5 state, the combat power has reached an astonishing 5 jing. Even if not all released, this force is extremely amazing. So, after Son Goku's transformation, the situation turned around 180 degrees in an instant. Just now Supernova Shenron completely crushed Super 4 Son Goku, but now Super 5 Son Goku completely crushed Supernova Shenron. In the final analysis, Supernova Shenron's combat effectiveness is only 1 jing in full energy form, which is far worse than Super 5 Son Goku. Hateful. After just a few rounds, Supernova Shenron's mentality collapsed a bit. He has always been confident and in control of everything. How can he think that Son Goku is so strong in a transformation, so he can't see the hope of victory? He roared into the sky, almost bursting into the energy of his whole body. From top to bottom shot out an amazingly powerful energy bounce. Go to hell. Supernova Shenron yelled. The situation is not good. Vegeta, who was still on the planet, became quite ugly. As a result, over 5 Son Goku just stood under the energy bomb, and with a burst of drink, his body exploded, and the amazing energy bomb was dissipated in this way. It's impossible. Supernova Shenron still maintained the position just now, his body froze in place. Vegeta was surprised. He actually solved that incredible attack with a simple boldness. Supernova Shenron, your time limit is up. Super 5 Son Goku expressionlessly took a look at Supernova Shenron, then pulled away, with his hands gathered around his waist, forming a calyx shape. Ultimate Turtle Pai Chi Gong Wave, damn it. Supernova Shenron was covered with cold sweat on his forehead. Only at this time, he couldn't run even if he wanted to. Rumble. Son Goku played Ki Blast in Super 5 and directly hit Supernova Shenron. The power can be sensed only by the breath. When everyone saw this scene, they didn't think that Supernova Shenron would survive, so they all cheered. In the Temple of Earth Heaven, Vegeta turned his head to look in the direction of God Jebet, and moved his fingers slightly, but in the end he did not move. It seems that this is pretty good, otherwise it will end like this. I always feel a little anticlimactic. Let the power of Super 5 Son Goku play well once. Huh. At this moment, the figure of Supernova Shenron suddenly appeared, right in front of God Jebet. What? How come? When the crowd was still cheering, they all got stuck in their throats, and their voices became like ducks. God Jebet said with a horrified look. Did he copy the instant transmission that I used to him just now? Very well, it's time to fight back. Supernova Shenron grinned, and did not notice a terrifying existence sitting not far behind him. Son Gohan directly transformed into Super Saiyan IV, pulling away his posture and looking on his guard. Son Goten and Trunks turned into Super Saiyan E, while Uib entered Super Uib mode. Even Xiaofeng and Beulah couldn't help but stand up nervously, as if they were about to burst into shape at any time. Don't worry, I don't have time to take care of you now. However, Supernova Shenron snickered, and reached out his hand. The 6 Dragon Balls that were originally installed by the god Jebet flew directly to Supernova Shenron, one by one into his mouth. Supernova Shenron came here, of course not to avoid Son Goku's chase, and not to deal with the rear of Son Goku, but to the other 6 Dragon Balls. 7 Dragon Ball was. Everyone looked horrified and didn't react at all. Huh. Son Goku also brought Vegeta over through instant transmission, but after all, it was a step slower. They originally wanted to prevent the evil dragon from absorbing the 7 Dragon Balls at the end and becoming the same as the Super Omega Shenron in the GT period, so that they would take away the purified Dragon Ball. I didn't think that Supernova Shenron could still cast instant transmission, appeared directly next to the 7 Dragon Balls, and then swallowed those Dragon Balls one by one when they didn't react. At this time, after swallowing 6 Dragon Balls, Supernova Shenron's aura suddenly exploded, and his appearance also changed. Originally he was just a short old man, who looked kind and kind. At this time, his height has jumped to a height of 1.81 meters, his limbs are slender, and his body is much stronger. He can no longer see the old man before, but instead looks like what he looked like when he was young. 7 Dragon Balls are arranged in front of him in a 2-in-3-in-2 formation. 2 planets on the left, 7 planets on the right, 3 planets on the left rib, 6 planets on the right rib, 4 planets on the left side of the belly button, 5 planets on the right side of the belly button, and 1 planet in the middle of the abdominal cavity. At this point, Son Goku calmed down instead, grinning. This guy is really amazing, and he feels a great breath. Hey, Kakarot, you can't fight here, otherwise the Earth will be over. Vegeta's face was covered with cold sweat. Such a Supernova Shenron has completely lost his heart of confrontation. Not to mention that he has reached the limit now. Even if he is still at his peak, he has no ability to compete with Supernova Shenron. So, let Son Goku deal with such opponents. Anyway, after transforming into Super 5, Son Goku hasn't used all his strength yet. Son Goku naturally understands this truth. In the previous battles, they deliberately selected very dense planets, and they were all destroyed in battles. Although the current Earth has been reinforced, it is still far inferior to the high-strength planets in the universe. What's more, with the fighting power of Super 5 Son Goku and Supernova Shenron, I am afraid that after a fight, a little aftermath can burst the Earth. However, Son Goku and others are worried about the Earth. Super Nuova Shenron has no such concerns. Judging from the snickering on his face, it is obvious that there is no idea of shifting the battlefield. Just as Son Goku was embarrassed, Vegeta sitting behind waved his hand, and the power of a space rule came. Everyone present, including Dend and Bobo, moved from the Celestial Temple to the Supreme Kai realm. The location has changed, but everyone's standing and posture are still the same as before. If it weren't for changes in the surrounding environment, they wouldn't even notice. What ability is this? Super Nuova Shenron discovered the existence of Vegeta, shocked because of this transferability. But because Vegeta didn't release the slightest breath, Super Nuova Shenron soon stopped paying attention, just treating Vegeta as a person with special abilities. In his opinion, it doesn't matter whether he fights on the Earth or in the Supreme Kai world. I didn't have the idea of shifting the battlefield before, but I just didn't want to be troublesome. What's more, the purpose of his birth is to destroy the Earth. There is no need to actively move locations in order to fight Son Goku. And now that it has changed a place, it is the same for him. He doesn't even know me. Vegeta was a little surprised when he saw that Super Nuova Shenron didn't continue to pay attention to him. He remembered that Shenron recognized Beerus very quickly when he saw Beerus for the first time. And Vegeta's god status is higher than Beerus. The evil dragon born out of Shenron doesn't even know him. This is weird. But this is better. Vegeta was worried just now that Super Nuova Shenron would affect his performance after seeing him, and he even didn't dare to continue making noises, so he wouldn't be able to fight. Master Vegeta, this evil dragon is far stronger than me now. Can Son Goku handle it? Ragus asked next to him. With Vegeta here, she naturally wouldn't worry. She was just surprised by the powerful breath of the Super Nuova Shenron. Don't you see it? Vegeta smiled faintly and said, after Son Goku turned into Super Saiyan 5, his power is also far above you. This. Of course I can see it. Laguz was a little depressed. I secretly decided in my heart that I would work hard to improve my strength in the future, otherwise, if Vegeta's enemies appeared in the future, she would not be able to help. Vegeta smiled. Although you can see it, you feel that Son Goku is far from a Super Nuova Shenron opponent, right? Does Son Goku still have reservations? Laguz was strange. Her strength is indeed not as good as the Super 5 Son Goku, but she can roughly judge the limit of the opponent's strength. Obviously, the Super 5 Son Goku is not the opponent of Super Nuova Shenron, unless there are other special tricks. There should be no more. Vegeta shook his head. The strength of the bright face, the Super Nuova Shenron is indeed much stronger now, but you will know when you look at it. There will be surprises. After Nuova Shenron absorbed 7 Dragon Balls, his strength exploded tenfold, and his combat strength reached the height of 10 Jing. The Super 5 Son Goku only has 5 Beijing, which is twice as weak as Super Nuova Shenron. But Vegeta believes that Son Goku, with his vigorous and never giving up spirit, is only double the gap, and he will definitely be able to defeat the Super Nuova Shenron personally, without the help of Vegeta. At this time, Vegeta, Son Gohan and others have already ran away, leaving the battlefield to Son Goku and Super Nuova Shenron. So, the last round is about to begin. Super 5th Son Goku's face was full of seriousness. Obviously he was also full of pressure when facing Super Nuova Shenron. Super Nuova Shenron looked at Son Goku, gritted his teeth and looked angry. Everything you did to me just now. Forget it, listen to me, I will never let you go. I will repay the hardships I have suffered, and I will repay it twice. Realize it. Super Nuova Shenron yelled. People who don't know the truth thought what happened to him just now. In fact, it was just that he couldn't beat Son Goku for Super 5 and was beaten severely. But before that, he beat Super 5 Vegeta and Super 4 Son Goku differently? Can only say, glass heart, what a damn. Baguette shook his head, sighing in his mouth. It's not that simple, I must defeat you. Son Goku's expression did not change at all. Super Nuova Shenron snorted. Walk and see, boy. The two sides did not continue to talk nonsense, and a war broke out directly. Super Nuova Shenron suddenly increased so much strength, wanting to enter the state is not a sudden thing. On the other hand, Son Goku exploded with all his strength from the beginning, and he has gradually realized that he is half-step uncomfortable. Therefore, with the difference in combat effectiveness of the two sides doubling, Super 5 Son Goku is even comparable to Super Nuova Shenron. The strength of the two parties has reached a very high level, far surpassing Beerus's level. Under such a big battle, even the Supreme Kai world is a bit unstable. However, both parties in the battle didn't care about these. While they were fighting, their strength continued to rise and continued to rise. Son Goku has unearthed all the power of the Super 5 realms. Although the combat effectiveness has not improved, but the control of energy has become more and more proficient, and the strength and speed that it exerts are naturally also improving. However, Super Nuova Shenron is adapting to the improved strength and constantly exerting strength closer to the limit. This battle is definitely much fiercer than any previous battle. Even if Vegeta excludes himself from the battle, it is also the fiercest battle in front of him. After all, it is very rare in all the 12 universes to reach a battle beyond the Beerus level. Suddenly, Super Nuova Shenron defeated Super 5 Son Goku in a bump, kicked it flying, and then exploded a giant energy bomb. Disappear. Super Nuova Shenron suddenly exploded with extremely powerful power. However, for a moment, an instant transmission from Super 5 Son Goku got behind Super Nuova Shenron and launched a more violent attack on it, and the situation reversed again. It seems to have tasted the sweetness. Once suppressed, Son Goku is an instant transmission, which can always reverse the situation. When the energy control reaches the level of nearly half-step incomprehension, Son Goku's instant transmission speed is also extremely fast, and it has almost reached the point where it is traceless and unpredictable. That's amazing. This is no longer what we can measure. Trunks was stunned. Even with his current strength and Son Goten's fusion into Super 4 Gotenks, the combat strength is only 1 Beijing, which is too far behind Super 5 Son Goku and Super Nuova Shenron. Damn it, this is the gap. Vegeta also gritted his teeth. Even though he had already admitted that he was inferior to Kakarot, he was still very upset when he really wanted to face it. Super Nuova Shenron is stronger than Super 5 Son Goku, so it can always be easily crushed in a head-on. But Super 5 Son Goku's energy control has risen to a very high level. If Vegeta dials a little bit at this time, I'm afraid he will be able to realize half-step incomprehension. In addition, he has already used instant transmission proficiently in battle, and he can't fight it head-on, but he can seize the fleeting opportunity and always reverse the situation before he can let it go. So the two sides broke out in full force. Sometimes Super Nuova Shenron crushed Super 5 Son Goku, and sometimes Super 5 Son Goku beat Super Nuova Shenron wildly. The sound of fists and feet colliding continuously over the Supreme Kai world. After the energy exploded, it sounded like thunder, causing the entire Supreme Kai world to tremble slightly. Both the old Supreme Kai and Jabetus were secretly worried. Under such fierce battles, even in the Supreme Kai world, they might not be able to hold on. It's Son Goku. I really didn't expect it to be this way. Super Nuova Shenron opened the distance and looked at Son Goku with a flat face. Super 5 Son Goku ticked the corner of his mouth slightly, and said, "Me too, you are really powerful, and it's getting more and more interesting. You think so too?" "Huh, fighting idiot." Super Nuova Shenron snorted when he saw Son Goku's face full of excitement. He spread out his hands and shouted, "Your despising smile will soon disappear. Realize it." Feeling the enhanced breath of Super Nuova Shenron, Super 5 Son Goku immediately shook his heart and opened his posture to raise his vigilance. Super Nuova Shenron said that, there must be some powerful tactics to be used. At this time, it is definitely not to be careless. Go to hell. Dragon bullets. A dragon-shaped energy bomb was emitted from Super Nuova Shenron. However, what went beyond Son Goku's expectations was that this attack was not directed at him, but at Trunks and others who were onlookers not far away. Not good. Everyone's complexion changed drastically. At this time, they were all in a normal state. They did not enter a fighting state at all. Once hit by this trick, I am afraid that none of them can survive. And even if they could complete the transformation in an instant, they would not be able to gather enough energy to withstand the attack before the attack of Super Nuova Shenron came. Damn it. Super 5 Son Goku cursed in a low voice, and then used instant transmission to block in front of Trunks and others. Boom. Super Nuova Shenron's dragon bullet hit Super 5 Son Goku head-on and exploded suddenly on his left arm, wounding his arm. Goku. Uncle. Kakarot. You. Everyone hadn't fully reacted at this time, only saw Son Goku suddenly blocking the front, and then he was bombed by a dragon bomb. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Super Nuova Shenron laughed and said, "Good sir Son Goku, this is your weakness." But. Damn. I broke my hand. Super 5 Son Goku grinned with pain. Uncle Goku, I'm so sorry, it's all because of me. Trunks looked annoyed. Ah, I didn't expect things to turn out like this. Old Supreme Kai said, "It's a mistake not to take everyone out of here." Trunks or not, they relax their vigilance. Since Super Nuova Shenron has played this kind of calculation, he will always find a chance, so it is not Trunks' fault if it is strictly investigated. However, Super Nuova Shenron won't give them too much time. Taking advantage of Son Goku's injury, he immediately rushed over and launched a new round of offense. Son Goku injured his left arm, his strength was greatly restricted, and his sense of balance dropped a lot. In this case, he was naturally no longer a Super Nuova Shenron opponent. I just said that I will give you back the pain I have suffered. Not enough. Not enough. Never allow such a thing to exist. Super Nuova Shenron launched a fierce attack on Super 5 Son Goku, constantly yelling. In the end, he kicked the Super 5 Son Goku into the ground, and then his hands were condensed with powerful energy bombs. It's over, Son Goku. Go to hell. Just before he could blast the energy out, a dark figure suddenly stood in front of him. Your opponent is me. The person who suddenly stood in front was Uub, who had already exploded and entered Super Uub mode. It's just that although Uub's strength has improved a lot, it is only 200 megabytes after all, which is not 1.5 stars behind the Super Nuova Shenron. What do you want to do with rubbish? Sure enough, facing Super Uub, Super Nuova Shenron didn't even look straight. Damn it, there is no time to go on like this, and now is not the time to consider the consequences. Super Uub made a secret decision in his heart, suddenly closed his eyes, and an inexplicable energy burst out of his body. Uub, the Super Magic Man, is here again. The strength of Super Demon Uub directly doubled 5 times, reaching a height of 1,000 trillion, although there is still a big gap with Super Nuova Shenron. But with the current level, just a little bit of care is enough to delay time. At this time, in places that Super Nuova Shenron did not see, Super 4 Trunks, Super 4 Son Goten, Super 5 Son Gohan, and Super 5 Vegeta all surrounded Super 5 Son Goku, continuously transmitting their super race energy to Son Goku inside. Son Goku, who was already exhausted and bruised all over his body, is now recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Not only that, but his breath continued to improve. Of course, Super Nuova Shenron is Super Nuova Shenron after all. When Son Goku's breath changed slightly, he was immediately discovered. Origin. That's it, I won't let you succeed. Super Nuova Shenron immediately gritted his teeth and prepared to rush to Son Goku. It took a long time to solve Son Goku with a slamming method. If he is resurrected like this, even if his strength is even higher than before, the Super Nuova Shenron's previous efforts will not be all in vain? Super Nuova Shenron just took action, but the Super Demon Uub next to him shouted and rushed towards him with a heavy blow. However, the power gap was too huge. Super Nuova Shenron avoided it by just one side, and then kicked the Super Demon Uub's waist. The Super Demon Uub is irrational, so even if he received a heavy blow from the Super Nuova Shenron, he still did not let go, and stubbornly resisted the attack of the Super Nuova Shenron. After just a few simple rounds, Uub, the Ultra Demon, was completely wounded. But Super Nuova Shenron wanted to interfere with Son Goku in the past and they couldn't do it. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth and constantly increased his power to attack Super Demon Uub. Unfortunately, in order to resurrect the power of Son Goku as quickly as possible, Son Gohan and Vegeta are transformed into the strongest state, and the transmission power is naturally extremely powerful. It didn't take long for Son Goku not only to return to its peak state, but also to go one step beyond the full energy form, reaching a full energy form beyond the limit. Everyone, I'm really sorry, I'm finally saved. Son Goku, Super 5, changed his face with confidence. Originally, as long as he reached the full energy form, he had the power to compete with the Super Nuova Shenron. But now it has surpassed the limit above the full energy form, allowing Son Goku's combat effectiveness to reach the height of 20 Jing in one fell swoop. Super Nuova Shenron has no chance. Super Nuova Shenron kicked Super Demon Uub, and he sensed the stronger aura of Son Goku, and was shocked. It's trouble now. Super Nuova Shenron. Super 5 Son Goku looked up at the sky, Super Nuova Shenron, and said, I have promised Shenron before. Everyone on our planet will protect the world next time, so the following attack is the final blow. This attack is all of us. Boom. Super 5 Son Goku slammed up, kicking heavily on Super Nuova Shenron. One kick, one punch, side strike, uppercut. Comparing the weight, the Super 5 Son Goku represents Son Gohan, Vegeta, Trunks and others, and each hit represents a person. In the end, the last punch on behalf of himself, spitting out blood from Super Nuova Shenron, almost lost his resistance. I am really grateful to 7 Dragon Ball, and it is very trustworthy. But this negative energy is because of us. Super 5 Son Goku put his hands in a calyx shape, gathered around his waist and began to gather strength. This is me. No, it's our attack. Ultimate, turtle, pie, chi, gong, po. Drink. After the strongest Kamehameha wave, this super Nuova Shenron has no chance of surviving anymore. He was directly beaten to dust by this ki blast, and there was no scum left. Successful, Uncle Goku did it, as expected of Dad. Trunks and Son Goten yelled with excitement, dancing and dancing. In fact, it wasn't just them, except for Vegeta and Lagoose. The rest of the people were all cheering with joy. The god Jebet once again used the power of the super god water to pull Ueb back from the state of the super demon Ueb. Knowing that the battle was over and they had won the final victory, Ueb also let out a long sigh. Only the old Supreme Kai complained. Really, it scares me to death every time. Grandpa Goku. After the battle, Xiaofang suddenly rushed into Son Goku's arms with a look of surprise. She has a very good relationship with Son Goku, but since Son Goku and Shenron left 3 years ago, they have disappeared from this world. I thought I would never see Son Goku in this life, but I didn't expect to rely on Son Goku's power to turn the tide. Xiaofang was so excited that she couldn't even speak. What a good fight. Seeing the people in the carnival in the distance, Vegeta was still sitting on the glass sofa, but he sighed softly. In this battle, the strength of the two sides was naturally far behind Vegeta. But just as a movie in its general nature, it is also extremely exciting. But even so, Vegeta still got some gains from Son Goku's power system. Regarding the emotional control of Super Saiyan's transformation, and the use of fighting rules. After Son Goku absorbed the energy of other people's super game at the end, it was upgraded to a full energy form beyond the limit. Vegeta clearly captured the energy changes during this period. In fact, this is not simply absorbing energy and increasing the amount of energy. Instead, it stimulates the rules of fighting through changes in emotions, and makes the energy change qualitatively. To put it simply, Vegeta can borrow this method and use his own efforts to reach Super Saiyan 5 of the full energy form beyond the limit. Judging from the increase of Son Goku just now, the full energy form beyond the limit, the combat power is 4 times stronger than the full power of the Super 5, which is exactly the increase of the Super 2 to the Super 3. After the crowd rioted for a while, they placed the 7 purified Dragon Balls together and prepared to summon Shenron. This time, unlike the GT period, the evil dragon in the GT period has not been completely defeated. Because at that time, with the help of Shenron's power, it produced a lot of negative energy while destroying the Super Omega Shenron, and then used Son Goku's body to seal those negative energy. And this time, they completely relied on their own power to eliminate all evil dragons, so the negative energy inside the 7 Dragon Ball has been completely purified. The current 7 Dragon Ball is just like never used before, so even if you make a few wishes in a short time, you won't be able to give birth to an evil dragon. The setting here is to use Dragon Ball once every 100 years, which is the best. If you ignore the 100-year CD time, negative energy will be produced, and if the negative energy accumulates, evil dragons will appear. Come out, Shenron! Son Goku yelled to the 7 Dragon Balls placed together. Soon, Shenron, who had returned to normal, appeared high in the sky, and the surrounding sky became dark. Long time no see, Shenron. Son Goku looked up at Shenron and said, "We still don't know how to constrain, but now we can only trouble you." Son Goku, you finally defeated those evil dragons. Shenron said, "Now that all the evil energy has been purified, what is the wish that you want to achieve?" In the end, I still have to ask you. I'm really sorry, but only Shenron can do it this time. Son Goku said, "There is only one wish that can be realized, which is to let the humans who died because of the evil dragon be resurrected. The terribly damaged Earth can also be restored to its original state." I see. Shenron's red eyes flickered. Soon, the wish came true, and everything was restored to before the evil dragon appeared. And Son Goku finally put down all the burdens and returned. Everything is completely over. Asterisk, are you really leaving? Son Goku looked at the people of Vegeta with a pity in his eyes. He wanted to fight Vegeta with all his strength. Under Vegeta's suggestion, Son Goku has completed a half-step incomprehensive training, and the Super 5 combat power has exceeded the full energy state of transcending the limit at the time. It's a pity that even with such strength, Vegeta still doesn't care about it, and doesn't want to fight him at all. It's been another week since the evil dragon incident. The main ones are Xiaofang, Bra, and Marlin, who was forcibly squeezed from behind, and they are all determined to leave with Vegeta. This week is mainly left for them to say goodbye to their relatives. Once you leave this time and space, you won't be able to come back in a short time. Vegeta didn't know why the families of the 3 girls agreed. Anyway, he hadn't come forward to persuade anyone. These people asked for it on their own initiative. With 3 more youthful, beautiful, lively and lovely girls around him, Vegeta would naturally not refuse, and even said that if there were others, he could go with him. Of course, the premise is that only beautiful and cute girls do. Well, the last additional requirement made Son Goku, who was already filled with excitement, instantly collapsed. I have been here for a long time and I have to go back. I have left a communicator for Bulma. If there are special things, you can use that communicator to contact me. After Vegeta left these words, he took Xiaofang, Bra and Marin, and Laguz, who had been following him, to break through time and space. In fact, the time spent in this time and space is not long, and it is only about a month before and after, but Vegeta's gain is not small. Completing the Super 5 God realm is nothing. The most important thing is to understand the shielding rules and be able to circumvent Zeno's elimination rules. From then on, he can do whatever he wants, and he doesn't have to deliberately follow the rules. Although he hadn't been restrained too much before, but now he is completely relaxed and he feels obviously different. No, after Vegeta was relaxed, he would flirt with the little girls around him from time to time, or even take advantage of it, making the girls blush. Laguz's body and mind belonged to Vegeta, so naturally she wouldn't care. Xiaofang and Beulah have long become Vegeta's little fans, and they are more pleased that Vegeta treats them like this. As for Marlin, there is actually some resistance. However, human beings all have a herd mentality. Even if she had no special ideas at the beginning, after seeing the reactions of the other three girls, she herself could not be too resistant. So that's it. Wow, is this your world? It really is the same as the Earth. When Vegeta and her daughters came to Vegeta's star in the realm of time, Xiaofang and Bra suddenly exclaimed. From a distance, you can see an aqua-blue planet in the distance, almost exactly the same as the Earth, dotted with various stars. The reason why Xiaofang and the others were surprised was not that they had never seen the Earth from outer space, but that they were subconsciously surprised when they left their time and space for the first time and saw another Earth-like planet. In fact, Vegeta was also a little surprised. When he left, it was nothing but nothingness. Now it is obviously different. Okay, let's go to the planet to see if Bulma and the others are there. Before coming, Vegeta had explained the situation here to Xiaofang and the others, and roughly knew who was around Vegeta. Although Xiaofang and the others feel a little bit novel when facing people in different time and space and in different relationships, they are not at all awkward. Perhaps it is because of their young age. This is quite interesting for them, with a sense of role-playing. Even an ordinary little girl like Marlin, who grew up purely on the Earth, still seemed very excited. To Vegeta's satisfaction, he forgot to give Vados at first, and worried that the planet would be completely silent after seeing it, without any living things. But when he came here, he discovered that there are still many small animals on the planet Vegeta. Compared with the Earth, there are fewer people on the Earth and some ferocious beasts, but there are basically some more gentle animals here. Through breath induction, Vegeta quickly found the person on Vegeta planet. Vados, Bulma, Taisi, Chi-Chi, number 18, and then Supreme Kai Kaien. They are all here? Vegeta raised his brow slightly, not surprisingly. Bulma and Chi-Chi were originally brought by Vados, and he also asked them to set up their homes first. On the 18th, I knew from previous contact that this woman could no longer be idle on the Earth, and it was normal that she would come over when she heard this news. Taisi is also the same situation. This kind of independent space opened up in time and space. Taisi, as a science fiction novelist, must be very interested. As for Kaien, this woman is a bit offline and cannot be measured by common sense. Moreover, her nest of time is opposite the square of time, and it is not unreasonable to run over to stop by. When Vegeta and Laguz and Xiaofang found Bulma and the others were in a huge manor. This manor should have been written by Vados and built through Angel's staff, but in terms of design, it is a bit like Bulma's style, but not exactly like it. It is probably based on Bulma's design, incorporating other people's opinions. Baguette. When Vegeta appeared, Bulma and others suddenly showed surprise expressions. Bulma and Chi-Chi couldn't help but rushed over and gave a big hug. Ha! Vegeta held the two daughters back, kissed each of them on their lips, and smiled. This time I'm away, it's really hard for you. It's not hard at all, I just miss you. Bulma and Chi-Chi expressed the same meaning one after another, and their eyes were full of affection. I can't bear it, I can't stand it. Sprinkle dog food as soon as I come back. Can you guys be more unrestrained and have the ability to broadcast live? Kaien wrinkled his nose and said. Live? Kaien's words without taboos made the other girls a little embarrassed. Even as Angel's Vados, Kaien was not as bold as Kaien. I haven't talked about you yet. Baguette gave her a sideways glance, and said with an aura. This is my place. Are you planning to turn away from the guest? Cut. It sounds like I'm very rare. Kaien curled his lips and said, if you didn't let Bulma and the others keep their widows, I kindly came over to chat with them and relieve my boredom, Otherwise I wouldn't bother to run here, myself. The nest of time is much more comfortable than here. With that said, Bulma and others all covered their mouths and laughed. You know, before Vegeta came, Kane had just envied the environment of Vegeta planet. Now I just overthrew my remarks in order to beat Vegeta, is this okay? Vegeta was not interested in stumbling with Kaien, and simply comforted Bulma and Chi-Chi, and then introduced Legoshi and Xiaofang to everyone. Of the 4 girls who appeared with Vegeta, only the identity of Laguz was more acceptable. Although he was a member of the Devil, he was still in the villain camp before. But since I have followed Vegeta, there is nothing to care about. Wasn't the 18th also an enemy? It's just that for the remaining 3 people, Xiaofang, Bra and Marlin, the relationship is a bit complicated. My daughter in another time and space? Bulma looked at Beulah. Not to mention, she looks a lot like her when she was young. Probably because of Saiyan's blood, he looks more temperament than Bulma when he was young. Sister Bulma, please guide me. Blah looked at Bulma with a grin, blinking beautiful eyes to reveal a mischievous color. Sister. Sister. Bulma was stunned. Blah naturally said, although you in another time and space are my mother, you in this time and space are not related to me, and it seems that you are not a few years older than me, so it is just right to be called sister. Bulma gave her a meaningful look and smiled. Sister, just sister, that's okay. If I call my mother, I will be very awkward. The relationship between the two was settled in this way, and the names of immediate family members were not included in the calculation. On the other side of Chi-Chi and Xiaofang, the communication is even easier. Gohan and Vital's daughter. Chi-Chi thought for a long time and finally remembered, and said, Vital seems to be Gohan's high school classmate. I didn't expect that in your time and space, they got married and gave birth to a daughter. Speaking of which, Gohan in time and space is a headache. He doesn't even have a girlfriend. Chi-Chi wondered if he could find Vital in his time and space and let her meet Gohan. Maybe a spark would come out. After all, they even have daughters in other time and space. Should they meet each other? Hearing Chi-Chi's words, Xiaofang was still stunned. That. Your time and space father, didn't you marry your mother? So, your time and space don't have my lovely and beautiful Xiaofang? Ha ha. Xiaofang's narcissism made everyone around her laugh. Chi-Chi rubbed her head and said, Xiaofang is really cute and beautiful. If I can, I really want a granddaughter like you. Ah, really? Xiaofang was immediately happy. But when she saw Blah was winking at her and glanced at Vegeta intentionally or unconsciously, Xiaofang instantly reacted and shouted, no, absolutely not. What's wrong? Chi-Chi was taken aback by her reaction. In fact, even Xiaofang herself didn't know what was wrong, she just felt that Chi-Chi couldn't treat her as a granddaughter. Otherwise she was 2 generations shorter than Bra, and what about the relationship with Vegeta? Of course, such words cannot be said directly, she can only hesitate and say, it's that. As long as there is a Xiaofang of me in this world, that's it, that's it. Chi-Chi heard this, only when she was a child who had a temper, couldn't help but smile. If you don't like it, then Gohan's child will not be called Xiaofang. Can you pick another name at that time, don't you need to be jealous? Ahem. Xiaofang almost choked on her saliva. Is it because of her name? Forget it. A misunderstanding is a misunderstanding. Let her explain that she doesn't know how to say it, and the thoughts in her heart can't be said. Why are you looking at me like this? Number 18 hugged her arms and looked at Marlin with a cold and arrogant expression. She has no patience to face the child. On the 18th, she didn't know that Marlin was her daughter from another time and space, because when Vegeta introduced Marlin, except for one name, she was Klin's daughter. Others didn't care either. After all, Klin in this time and space had been staying in the turtle house, and he had no sense of existence anymore. Only Bulma and Chi-Chi, the 2 who had been in contact with Klin before, were a little surprised, but didn't think much about it. But, seeing the reaction of the 18th, Marlin couldn't help being a little confused. The 18th in this space-time didn't even know her? Although she found that number 18 in this time and space, her personality seemed to be different from her mother, and she looked more aloof and colder. But, in terms of time, she should be 6 or 7 years old in this time and space, right? Why didn't you know her on the 18th? Mullen couldn't help but looked at Vegeta. Vegeta coughed and said, number 18, in fact, Marlin's mother is you in another time and space. What? Not only did the 18th look dumbfounded, Bulma and Chi-Chi couldn't help but exclaim. Marlin's mother is number 18, and she was said to be Klin's daughter before. Doesn't that mean that another time and space number 18 is married to Klin? Why don't you think that they don't match well? Number 18 sneered and said, joke, how could I fall in love with that little dwarf? I am too ignorant in another time and space, right? Of course she knew that Klin liked her back then, but she couldn't think of it in other time and space that she would come together with Klin and gave birth to a daughter. Marlon's expression was embarrassed, and she also reacted at this time. It turned out that the 18th in this space-time is in the same situation as Xiaofang's parents, and they are not together. No wonder the two 18ths have such a big difference in personality. Marlon once heard Clin said that after becoming a mother on the 18th, her psychology gradually matured, and she always liked to care about money gains and losses. In general, she was considered a good housekeeper. However, it was originally not in the same time and space. Whether it was the original relationship or not, it didn't matter. It was just that after knowing the relationship, the 18th was not so arrogant to Marlon. Except that she still insisted in her heart that she couldn't like the little dwarf Clin, she still liked the little girl Marlon. Hey, they all have daughters and granddaughters. Vegeta, have you met my children? Taze pulled on Vegeta, showing a trace of envy. Vegeta gave her a strange look and said, no, didn't you abandon everything to pursue your dreams? I thought you were from the dink. I hate it. Taise waved her powder fist. What do you mean? I am not a dink, but my life has not stabilized and I haven't met the right people. Even though she said that, she also heard it from Vegeta's tone. She seemed to have no children in other time and space. How does this work? Taise's eyes flickered, and she looked at Vegeta and didn't know what she was thinking. Okay. Let's stop here for the gossip. Vados, send a message to everyone on the earth, and you will pick them up in a while. Let's have a banquet as a celebration of the housewarming of our stay here. By the way, Beerus and they call on, too. Vegeta interrupted the conversation and ordered Vados. However, Vados said something that made everyone's eyes wide open. Master Vegeta, the earth no longer exists. Asterisk, Vados, what are you talking about? What does it mean? What does the earth no longer exist? Everyone exclaimed. The angel's staff in Vados's hand waved, revealing a dark and lonely universe space above it. She said, this is where the earth is, it has disappeared. Such things are even more difficult for everyone to understand. Vegeta frowned and said, Vados, explain it well. This matter will start from half a year ago. The angel wand in Vados's hand waved again, and pictures appeared on it, which quickly jumped past like a movie. Every time a picture appears, it is accompanied by a narration explained by Vados. 6 months ago, the remnants of the Frieza Legion sneaked into the Earth, collected 7 Dragon Balls, and used Shenron to make a wish to revive the former universe Emperor Frieza. Frieza learned about the current situation and learned that Son Goku and Vegeta had disappeared and merged into a stronger warrior Vegeta, and easily defeated Majin Buu when the strength was far from the limit. So he began to concentrate on practicing, even harder than in Dragon Ball Super. Half a year later, the gold Frieza transformed into Frieza is quite amazing, and may even be stronger than Beerus. He rushed to the Earth to take revenge, with the goal of defeating Vegeta. It's a pity that Vegeta has gone to GT time and space for 3 years, which is the plotline of AF. And Bulma, Chi-Chi and others also followed Vados to the planet Vegeta. Originally, Bulma had a communicator on him, so he could not only contact Vados, but also Whis. It's just that Vados told her about Vegeta's planet. Bulma was anxious and forgot to leave the communicator. Therefore, only a few second-line fighters such as Son Gohan and Piccolo are left on the Earth to fight. Son Gohan has learned the Super 4 transformation. Piccolo can also open the 8 chains, but the changes that Vegeta has brought to them are short after all, and their cultivation is not enough. Naturally, they are not the opponents of Golden Frieza. Isolated and helpless, Son Gohan and the others insisted on fighting until the end, but they were all killed by Golden Frieza. After learning that Vegeta had become the gods of destruction and was not in this time and space, Golden Frieza seemed to feel hopeless for revenge, and became angry and directly destroyed the Earth. After listening to Vados's description, the scene was as quiet as death, and everyone stood there blankly, with faces full of disbelief. Frieza is resurrected, and her strength has become extremely terrifying, maybe even stronger than gods of destruction Beerus? The Earth was destroyed, and all their relatives on the Earth were killed one by one? Bulma and Chi-Chi rolled their eyes almost at the same time and fainted directly. Bra and Xiaofang hurriedly helped them to the side, but they didn't know what to say. Others have their own reactions, but even a cold beauty with a strong heart like the 18th, still can't accept this kind of thing. Golden Frieza. Kain frowned and said, according to normal historical progress, he should have been defeated by Son Goku and Vegeta. I didn't expect him to take advantage of it without checking. This is Vegeta. Although your responsibility has nothing to do with time and space, do whatever you want, and I will treat it as if I don't know. Gods of destruction cannot interfere with normal historical development. Gold Frieza is not a time and space disruptor, and is not within Vegeta's supervision. So strictly speaking, even if the Earth is now destroyed, Vegeta can't go to Frieza. This is not gods of destruction's job. Of course, from a logical point of view, Frieza destroyed Vegeta's birthplace, and it made sense that Vegeta went to Frieza as a private person. However, even so, it can't be regarded as using power for personal gain, but it is also negligence of duty. That's why Kaien has such a remark. However, Vegeta didn't really care about the gold Frieza's destruction of the Earth and the killing of Son Gohan and others. Even if the Earth Dragon Ball is gone, there will be a Namek Dragon Ball, or else there will be a Super Dragon Ball, which can always restore everything to its original state. And Frieza is just a jumping clown, not to mention surpassing Beerus. Even if it surpasses Angel, how can it be in front of Vegeta? Not worth mentioning at all. But Vegeta is still full of anger, not against Frieza, but against Vados. How long ago did this happen? Vegeta suppressed his anger, and asked in a mild tone. Vados didn't notice the change in Vegeta's tone, still with a slight smile on his face, and replied, "Not long after I took Bulma and them away from the Earth, it should have been half a month ago." Half a month? So, why didn't you notify me in the first place? Vegeta narrowed his eyes, and a dangerous breath was faintly revealed on his body. It wasn't until this time that Vados was surprised. But she still didn't care much, and replied casually, "Because Lord Vegeta hasn't ordered it." Just as Lord Kaien said, this matter has nothing to do with time and space and is not under the supervision of gods of destruction, so there is no need to remind Master Vegeta. Master Vegeta knows that Angel's setting is. Boom. A powerful breath suddenly burst from Vegeta. Thump. Vados hadn't finished speaking, but under Vegeta's powerful pressure, he knelt on his knees and couldn't stand up anymore, and was swallowed back halfway through his words. Bay. Master Vegeta. You. This is. Vados's careless face finally changed, becoming a little shocked and horrified. She hadn't noticed before. With every word she said, Vegeta's face became ugly. So she did not expect that Vegeta would burst out suddenly, from the original carelessness to now being oppressed by the powerful pressure. The two different extreme sensations suddenly made her heart throb. It's just that she really can't figure out why Vegeta would be angry with her, and she doesn't understand what's wrong. Angel is originally neutral, she is a follower of gods of destruction of time, and her responsibility is naturally only related to the work of gods of destruction of time. Even to build Vegeta planets for Vegeta is within the scope of authority. But Frieza destroys the Earth. Even if she didn't tell her the relationship of 8 strokes, she wouldn't be considered negligent. If she hurriedly reported to Vegeta because of this incident, wouldn't she stand on the opposite side of the evil camp? This is against Angel's setting. When Vegeta knew these things, why would he blame her? At this time, everyone's eyes were on Vegeta, and the atmosphere didn't dare to show up. The pressure of Vegeta's breath only acts on Vados alone, but other people can also feel the almost solidified atmosphere of depression. At this time, even Kaien, whose brain is usually disconnected, was full of tension with his breath. Vados, you disappoint me so much. Vegeta looked at Vados, who was kneeling in front of him, and said with a cold face, "First, you are my entourage first, then Angel. If you can't recognize this position, there is no need to follow me." Vados was originally caught off guard. She, who had never encountered such a thing before, seemed a little panicked at first, but by this time she had calmed down. Although she was forced by Vegeta to kneel there, her expression gradually disappeared from the usual gentleness and carelessness, instead she slowly became indifferent. "Are you serious, Master Vegeta?" Vados also looked at Vegeta with a cold expression. Once again he was commensurate with Lord Vegeta, but she couldn't hear the slightest respect from her. Seeing this, Vegeta's pupils shrank slightly. "Let's go. I'll explain the situation to the Grand Priest myself, you don't need you here." Vegeta took a deep breath, and after making this decision, he turned and walked towards Bulma and Chi-Chi, who were fainting. When Vados heard Vegeta's words, his delicate body trembled, and his eyes showed disbelief. At this time, the coercion brought by Vegeta had disappeared, but Vados still knelt there without realizing it. The coercion disappeared, everyone seemed to relax, but the mood became heavier. Kaien stepped forward and said with a little embarrassment, "Now, I said. Everyone should calm down. Actually, it's not a big deal, is it?" Vegeta threw a burst of energy into Bulma and Chi-Chi each, and the two girls woke up one after another with a cry. "Don't worry, Gohan and Trunks will be resurrected, and the Earth will return to its original state, I promise," Vegeta comforted softly. Bulma and Chi-Chi are assured that their emotions are not so intense, but they are still a little sad. At this time, Vegeta turned to Kaien and said, "You don't need to say much, if you really want to help, please help me find Frieza's position." Vegeta has decided that he will not change for anyone's intercession. The moment he met Vados' eyes just now, Vegeta understood a lot of things. What is Angel? Angel is the existence above and beyond the universe. Even if they condescend to come to the universe and become followers, they are still high in their hearts, and they have never regarded themselves as followers in a real sense. Therefore, Vados does not consider Vegeta's mood, let alone what Vegeta thinks, she just does what she thinks should be done. Perhaps as Angel, she is qualified. But what does Vegeta want an angel to follow by his side? Surveillance, or is it self-restraint? The so-called entourage is to help the master solve all the troubles. If you can't understand the feelings of the host, you can't look at the problem from the perspective of the host. Is it still called a follower? Kane seemed to feel the firmness of Vegeta's attitude, opened his mouth, but didn't know what to say, and finally turned into a long sigh, and turned to look for Frieza's position. As the supreme Kai of time, she is certainly a good hand at finding someone, which is naturally not difficult for her. This is. What's wrong? Bulma realized that there was something wrong with the atmosphere and saw Vados still kneeling on the ground. Vados also slowly recovered from Bulma's gaze, and slowly stood up from the ground. Haha, follower? You really naively thought that I came to be your follower? Vados had a sneer on his face, no longer the gentle appearance of the past, but it made people feel a little sad. Vegeta just glanced at her faintly, without replying. After meeting his eyes, he already understood a lot of things, and he didn't need to talk more. However, Vados did not let him go. He still sneered and said, "The angels are noble, and they say that they follow, just to make you narcissistic. In our circle, everyone knows that the gods who follow Angel are actually all it's just our marionette. I have to admit that your strength is indeed much stronger than other gods, and it directly surpasses Angel. That said, after all, you are the first to cultivate into a god by your own efforts in hundreds of millions of years. But the natives are just natives after all. They don't understand what the nature of this world is. After all, they are just a bunch of frogs at the bottom of the well. What qualifications do you have to treat me as a servant? What qualifications do you have to make me kneel?" At first she just sneered, talking with contempt. But at the end, the more I talked, the more excited I got, and the last two words even roared out directly. It is conceivable that Vados felt humiliated by kneeling under the pressure of Vegeta's breath. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to say such things, let alone in front of so many people. When everyone heard Vados' words, including Kain, their eyes widened and their faces were full of incredible expressions. It turns out that in Angel's eyes, the creatures in the universe, including the gods above all creatures in the universe, are so humble? The 2-character book says, "Aboriginal. What? Do you want to fight with me desperately?" Unlike everyone else, from start to finish, Vegeta's face was very calm. After listening to Vados' words, he didn't change his expression, he just looked at her faintly. "Hey." Vados chuckled lightly, and said with a full face, "Do you think you are really strong? That's where you don't understand. The Angel clan is truly terrifying. Tell you the truth, no matter how far you practice in this universe, the Angel family will kill you. It's as simple as moving your fingers, just like Master Zeno's elimination. Do you know that? Yes, that's it. Kind." Vegeta did not expect that the dimension of the Angel clan would be the same as Zeno, or that they would be superior to all beings in the universe. Vegeta did not know the nature of the world she was talking about, but he knew that when Vados spoke these words desperately, I was afraid that things were a little out of control. As smart as you should already understand, right? Vados finally showed a cheerful smile when he saw Vegeta's slightly changing expression. Today's things are really something I didn't think of before. I couldn't control it for a while. Don't blame me, you can only blame. Forget it. What's the point of saying this? Anyway, you will soon disappear. Oh no, it should be said. Everything will be restored to its original state, nothing will happen. Bulma frowned and said, "Vados, what are you talking about? Although I don't know what happened, if Vegeta has done too much, I will apologize for him. The way you look makes me feel very strangeness." Bulma didn't hear Vegeta's break with Vados just now, but when she woke up, she happened to see Vados kneeling on the ground, so she was obviously misunderstood. "Don't be silly, Bulma, with your IQ, I believe you should hear a lot of things." Vados chuckled, his body gradually lifted off the ground and slowly floated. "What the hell do you want to do?" Bulma's heart trembled. It was precisely because she realized that Vados might have to do some extreme behavior that she would stand up and apologize on behalf of Vegeta. Otherwise, why? Don't talk about Vegeta. Even Bulma felt that since Vados became Vegeta's entourage, but he was not in harmony with Vegeta, this behavior was simply excessive. Everyone keeps away. Let her do what she wants. Vegeta pulled Bulma aside and looked at the floating Vados, his face still calm. Vados chuckled and said, "As expected, Mr. Vegeta, and the daring master of art, is that what you said? It's a pity that you don't understand what true power is." Vegeta said indifferently, "You shielded the realm of time, so you don't want Grand Priest to discover it? You speak so much on behalf of Angel. I thought you were all stubborn, but I didn't expect that you also have concerns." Vados' complexion changed slightly, But soon he smiled again, and said, "So what? I admit that I did not dare to be discovered by Grand Priest for doing this kind of thing. Unfortunately, you didn't have a chance to tell him, or you think you can rely on yourself. The strength of your body breaks through this barrier. Oh, I forgot that you were a powerful Vegeta. I'm afraid you never thought of breaking through the barrier, but think that no matter what behavior I do, you can stop it, right? Vados like this really make everyone feel strange. Including Supreme Kaikayan of Time. Everyone has retreated behind Vegeta, nervously watching Vados floating in the sky talking and talking, watching everything. Well, I really think so. Vegeta nodded seriously and said, no matter what behavior you do, I have the ability to stop it. So, have you thought about the consequences of failure? Ha. Vados laughed as soon as he heard it, shook his head and said with disdain, so, you don't understand the nature of this world at all. No matter how powerful you are, it's useless if you can't show it. Don't you have it yet? Found that you can't use energy at all now? Vegeta raised his eyebrows, secretly mobilizing the energy in his body, and it turned out that he couldn't mobilize it, as Vados said. The huge energy in his body still exists and is still under his control. But at this time, he could perceive it, but couldn't move it. This feeling is like a muscle paralysis. The muscle is still yours, but you can't move it. It won't hurt if you pinch it. Is it sensed? Vados said with a joking look. Can you still say that kind of boastful remarks now? It's a pity that she didn't find the slightest panic on Vegeta's face, but Bulma and the other women's complexions changed drastically. Only Vegeta's strength surpasses Vados in the presence. If Vegeta's energy is gone, how will the others deal with it? What are you talking about, so much nonsense? If you want to fight, I'll accompany you. Standing on the 18th, he burst out of his own energy, really worthy of being a hero of the female middle school. As a result, Vados only glanced at her lightly, and the 18th couldn't move. What? How is this possible? No 18 feet's face became extremely ugly. Not only could he not move, but the energy of the so-called perpetual furnace was gradually extinguished. She looked shocked. How do you do this kind of thing? What is this ability? How many times do you need me to say before you understand? Vados sighed helplessly, and said, you are just low-level creatures. You don't understand the level of angel at all. Even if you tell you the answer, you can't understand it. That's why I'm so annoyed. I didn't hesitate to remove the packaging from the past. In the final analysis, it's because you actually took me down and made me kneel. This is absolutely unforgivable. Vados talked about Vegeta, but vented his anger on the 18th. She didn't use Angel's staff, but shot a beam of white light from her fingertips. It was different from normal energy bombs, and she didn't know what its nature was. It made number 18 all the hairs on her body, and there was a crisis from the heart. Feel. Mom. Mom. Mullen was confused and caressed. He just rushed over, trying to stand in front of number 18. It's a pity that with her ordinary physique, even if she reacted, she couldn't keep up. Huh. The white light passed by, and it was about to hit the 18th, but in the end, a palm stepped faster in front of it, and directly grabbed the white light. Puff. The owner of the palm is naturally Vegeta. He just held it lightly, and the white light had been pinched out. Huh. It's dangerous. Number 18 breathed a sigh of relief with lingering fear. Although the white light did not hit her, she had an intuition that if she was hit by this white light, she might not exist anymore. It's impossible. Vados' eyes widened suddenly and his face was incredibly full of shouts. How did you do it? You can't do this kind of thing at all. Her words are similar to those of number 18 before, but it's a pity that the role has been reversed. The corner of Vegeta's mouth was slightly raised, and he said contemptuously, didn't I say that? No matter what kind of behavior you do, I have the ability to stop it. Do you think I'm joking? Impossible. Vados shouted again. This kind of energy is totally different from yours. How can you catch it? As she said, she shot out several white beams again, and shot towards Vegeta. These white light beams are different from ordinary energy bombs. They seem to be a combination of a certain regular force, and they carry energy of completely different nature. Vegeta can feel that this seems to be an energy that can control everything. So even if the energy contained in these few beams is not large, normal people can't resist it at all. As Vados said, no matter how strong the strength is, it is impossible to block this kind of energy of completely different nature. Strictly speaking, compared with ordinary energy, it is impossible to say who is strong and who is weak, but the kind of Vados played out is like a natural enemy of ordinary energy, and it is completely restrained. Vegeta was unable to mobilize the energy in his body, and it was Vados who used the power of the rules formed by this energy to restrain Vegeta. As for when it was displayed, maybe it was because he knelt in front of Vegeta just now, he had already secretly manipulated it. However, in such a critical situation, Vegeta did not rush, and simply waved his hand, which would disperse all the white light beams. You. This. Are you. Vidos's greatest reliance is this special ability, but now it can't work. It's Spartan in an instant, and I don't even know how to ask questions. So next, are you ready to suffer the consequences? There was a joking on Vegeta's face.